In the eyes of everyone, Cha Do-hyun is a perfect guy. He is handsome, good at sports, martial arts, and ranks first in academics in the whole school. Because of this, Cha Do-hyun is always loved by everyone, with some guys being jealous of him for falling far behind. Only Seo Eun-hoo, Do-hyun's childhood best friend, knows that he is not perfect like that. Lately, Do-hyun has been increasingly fond of being intimate with Eun-hoo. Eun-hoo suspects it's because the anniversary of Do-hyun's parents' death is approaching. That accident happened when they were both in the 10th grade, which was 2 years ago. During the funeral process, Do-hyun didn't shed a tear, but he burst into tears when it ended. Feeling a bit cold, Eun-hoo tightly squeezed Do-hyun with his legs and laughed playfully. After watching a movie scene with a kiss, Eun-hoo became curious and asked Do-hyun if kissing feels good. Do-hyun replied seriously, suggesting Eun-hoo to try it once if he's curious. Eun-hoo doesn't know who to try it with, so he asks Do-hyun to introduce him to someone. Do-hyun refuses, saying nobody can stand Eun-hoo's personality. Eun-hoo gets angry and kicks him a few times. Do-hyun thinks, besides me, who else can stand his personality? That evening, Eun-hoo's mother bought Korean ginseng. He thought she bought it for him, but it turned out to be for Do-hyun. Because Eun-hoo's mother heard that Do-hyun ranked first in the school's trial competition, she wanted to support him. She also instructed Eun-hoo to bring it over early tomorrow morning. In the morning, Eun-hoo carries the ginseng box to Do-hyun's house. Since Do-hyun's sister is the owner of a ginseng center and often works abroad, Do-hyun lives alone in a large house. Eun-hoo prepares breakfast for both of them, but Do-hyun hasn't woken up yet. He shouts loudly in Do-hyun's room, "Cha Do-hyun, wake up quickly." Seeing the handsome Do-hyun sleeping peacefully like a prince, Eun-hoo gets angry and pulls all the curtains open. Thinking that Do-hyun is awake, Eun-hoo is about to leave when suddenly Do-hyun hugs him tightly and pulls him onto the bed, then lies on top of him. Eun-hoo struggles and curses, asking what crazy thing Do-hyun is doing so early in the morning, telling him to let go quickly. Do-hyun holds him tighter and says he feels cold, complaining about the weather being chilly near July. Eun-hoo angrily kicks Do-hyun's leg and shouts loudly, telling him to hurry up or he'll leave first. They both go to school together, and Eun-hoo says to convey his thanks to his aunt for buying the ginseng. "Do it yourself, you jerk. You've become his mother now, not mine." Following Do-hyun by about 2 to 3 steps had become a habit for Eun-hoo. As he walked, he would do some random things. Meanwhile, Do-hyun would usually walk straight ahead. Eun-hoo noticed that Do-hyun had been acting a bit strange lately. He guessed that he was dating someone, but despite his persistent questioning, Do-hyun refused to say anything. Seeing the supervisor, Eun-hoo quickly put on his jacket. However, he couldn't pull it up. Do-hyun came over to help him. They were a bit late for school, but the supervisor smiled brightly at Do-hyun. As for Eun-hoo, he yelled, "Hurry up, Eun-hoo! What kind of uniform is that? Button up your shirt right now." Then, he hit Eun-hoo's butt with a stick a few times. Seeing this, Do-hyun's face suddenly darkened. Eun-hoo whispered in Do-hyun's ear, teasing him. "Have you finished controlling your expression yet? Cha Do-hyun, you're such a hypocrite. Our respected student council president shouldn't be like this." After the class ended, the vice president stayed behind to beg Do-hyun to introduce senior Eun-hoo to her. Do-hyun answered decisively, "Find someone else. He is mine." The junior didn't give up and kept following them, begging. "Senior Eun-hoo is very cute, he looks like a rabbit." But the rabbit in the eyes of an innocent person is different from the rabbit in Do-hyun's eyes. However, Do-hyun thought Eun-hoo was more like a cat, cute and often grumpy. As Do-hyun thought about this, he chuckled to himself. Then, he firmly answered the junior, "No way." The junior left in frustration. Eun-hoo thought that Do-hyun always attracted everyone's attention. But Do-hyun thought that Eun-hoo had been famous since middle school, but he himself didn't know. Eun-hoo was having lunch when she rushed over. Do-hyun recognized the junior's intention, and his face became cold. The junior greeted him, "Senior, hello." Eun-hoo greeted her back in a friendly manner, hello." The junior asked if she could sit with them for lunch, and Eun-hoo happily agreed. At that moment, Do-hyun came over and sat down next to Eun-hoo. The aura around him was very strong, and he gave the junior a look that couldn't be friendlier. The junior introduced herself as Kim Hein-sun, a 11th grader and the vice president of the student council. Because they had a meeting with the board of directors, the two of them ate late. As for Eun-hoo, he was too busy sleeping, so his friends didn't bother to invite him to eat. The two of them kept bickering about Eun-hoo always dozing off in class. The junior felt like a light bulb, unable to join the conversation between them. She found it strange that senior Do-hyun cared so much about others. Because Do-hyun doesn't eat cucumbers, Eun-hoo casually picked up the cucumber on his tray. The junior was surprised. Wasn't senior Do-hyun a clean freak? While picking cucumbers, Eunhoo answered. Although Do-hyun is very neat, he is not a clean freak. Eunhoo put a piece of cucumber in his mouth and continued to pick the remaining pieces. He didn't care about this. Indeed, Do-hyun was not annoyed, he even spoke up to let Eunhoo pick all and eat. Looking at their actions, the junior was shocked and couldn't believe her eyes. In the past, she only took a sip of water, but the senior looked at the water bottle as if it was trash. She didn't even touch her lips to it. The two of them continued to playfully fight over food. Do-hyun looked at the junior with a triumphant face as if to say, "That's mine. Don't even think about touching it." Eunhoo sat in class but his mind was hanging upside down on a tree branch. He felt detached from the world of his friends. They worked hard to be able to get into the university they wanted. As for Eunhoo, he didn't know what he would do after graduation. The fact that Do-hyun gave up taekwondo to focus on the entrance exam. Eunhoo was very envious of his determination. Today, Eunhoo's class has a new transfer student. He is completely different from what Eunhoo imagined. The teacher introduced him as Won Ji-hyun. He had many difficulties because he transferred schools at the end of the term. The teacher hoped that everyone would help him. Since the seat next to Eunhoo was empty, the teacher directed Ji-hyun to sit there. Eunhoo felt uncomfortable having someone sit next to her. However, since the teacher had already said so, there was no other way. Eunhoo took a glance at the new guy. As soon as he got to his seat, he put his head down on the desk. The boys in the class came to pick a fight. Ji-hyun didn't care and kept his head down on the desk. Eunhoo was busy texting with Do-hyun. Suddenly, she squealed with delight. A stray cat had appeared at Do-hyun's house. He planned to keep it and treat its conjunctivitis. Looking at the adorable cat, Eunhoo was delighted and wanted to go to the vet with Do-hyun. The boys lost their patience. One of them raised his hand to hit Ji-hyun on the head. Then Ji-hyun suddenly grabbed and squeezed his hand hard. Ji-hyun coldly said, "I want to keep a low profile until graduation. So, cooperate with me a little, okay?" Everyone was extremely surprised. He has quite a personality. He was teased by the other two. The guy was so shy that he got angry. He grabbed Ji-hyun's chin. "You jerk, I just suggested that we get closer. But why are your eyes like that? Are you scared to talk?" Ji-hyun kept staring at him. The guy squeezed harder. "Damn it, you dare to make this face." Seeing them tease without limit, Eunhoo spoke up. "Hey, Yihvin." Just then, the English teacher entered the classroom. The teacher asked everyone to return to their positions. Eunhoo had been texting for a while, but Do-hyun hadn't replied yet. At lunchtime, a classmate called Eunhoo to go eat. He woke up groggily, remembering that he had a new classmate. "Oh, but hey, let's go eat." The two went to the cafeteria together. Seeing Ji-hyun, the group shouted, "Hey, Eunhoo, over here." Eunhoo didn't know if he heard them, but he ended up eating with Ji-hyun. Seeing this, Ji-hyun asked, "Is it okay if you don't eat with those guys? If it's because of me, you don't need to worry." Eunhoo was confused. What did he say? Is he too self-absorbed? Ji-hyun is shy. "Anyway, thanks for having a meal with me." Wesker curiously. "But why did you transfer schools? If you don't want to, you don't have to answer." Yihvin bluntly replies, "I am gay." Eunhoo is surprised. He didn't expect that just after meeting for less than half a day, Ji-hyun could tell him this story. Ji-hyun continues indifferently. "At my old school, after a few kids found out about this, they bullied me a lot. Things got serious, so the school suggested I transfer." Evaluate. "You studied at a terrible school." Ji-hyun is quite surprised by Eunhoo's reaction. "Is that all? I said I like boys." With someone he just met 4 hours ago, Eunhoo doesn't know how to react appropriately. He says, "You must be tired." Ji-hyun asks back, "Don't you see anything different?" Eunhoo is a bit annoyed because he doesn't know what Ji-hyun wants him to do. He says, "What does your liking boys have to do with me? You like me. Don't joke like that." "But how important is what I think?" Yihvin smiles. Indeed, his reaction is not important. Normally, I don't see such a reaction. Eunhoo, being friendly, serves food to Ji-hyun. "Eat this," he says. "Let it be higher." Then Eunhoo invites Ji-hyun to the cafeteria because he finds today's school meal bland and not tasty. Do-hyun doesn't reply to the messages. Now, he is seen standing there idly. Eunhoo is annoyed, so he shouts, "Hey, Cha Do-hyun. It's lunchtime, what are you doing here? You haven't bothered to contact all day." Do-hyun glances at Ji-hyun. A face that he has never seen before. Do-hyun is on guard. Where did Eunhoo bring such an unpleasant kid from? Eunhoo keeps calling Do-hyun, but he just stands there, staring at Ji-hyun. Eunhoo pokes him, and then he returns to normal. "Sorry, I'm very busy preparing for tomorrow's forum." He notices Do-hyun hasn't had lunch yet. Eunhoo rummages in his bag, then pulls out a sweetbread and a box of milk for him. Then remembering that Do-hyun doesn't drink milk, Eunhoo turns to ask Ji-hyun if she wants another box of milk. Do-hyun surprisingly grabs it. I'll drink it, but you said milk smells rancid so you don't like it, and this one is even strawberry flavored. Do-hyun, I can drink this, and I will also eat the bread. Eunhoo feels sorry for Do-hyun, probably he is very hungry, so he is willing to eat sweet food today. Eunhoo gives both to Do-hyun, eat all of this, take it and eat. Ji-hyun just witnessed Do-hyun's action as if he could see through the world. He smiled, while Do-hyun continued to glare. I have never seen this face before. Eunhoo introduced them to each other. He was shy, at least they should greet each other. Ji-hyun spoke first, greeted him, but only received silence from Do-hyun. Then he said, after the first term of grade 12, it's worth understanding the situation if you're new to the school. Seo Eunhoo, you should know how to choose your friends. After saying that, Do-hyun turned his back and left. Eunhoo was angry. What kind of crazy act are you doing in front of someone? Hey, Cha Do-hyun. Eunhoo called after him. What about the veterinary hospital? If you are still busy at school until evening, I will take it to the hospital. Eunhoo couldn't understand Do-hyun. His mood was good just now, but now it's like this, he doesn't have a personality disorder. Ji-hyun asked. Is that your best friend? Yes, it is. I'm sorry, he's sometimes crazy like that. Hearing Eunhoo talk about taking the cat to the vet, Ji-hyun wanted to go too. After the examination, Eunhoo took the kitten home. He gave Ji-hyun a glass of cool water to drink. Seeing that Ji-hyun knew a lot about cats, Eunhoo asked. Hey, do you have a cat? You handled it very well at the hospital. Ji-hyun replied, it's not me who takes care of it, but my sister. Even though I live with her and the kitten, all the feeding and playing with the kitten are done by Ji-hyun. However, Eunhoo seems quite interested. Because he and Do-hyun have never had a pet before. Eunhoo asked, how old is your kitten? It died last year. Ji-hyun's kitten passed away due to old age. That day, he was alone at home. He took the kitten to the hospital, but it didn't survive. Bringing a stranger home for the first time, then watching the kitten play in front of him until its sudden departure. It was a long busy day, but Eunhoo didn't feel uncomfortable. Eunhoo had a phone. He was startled to remember that he forgot to call Do-hyun. Do-hyun texted, where are you? Why aren't you answering the phone? Along with 13 missed calls. Eunhoo checked his phone in fear. Just as Do-hyun called, sorry, I forgot. Open the door. Before he could finish his sentence, he was coldly interrupted by Do-hyun. Before Eunhoo could react, the doorbell rang continuously. He opened the door and shouted angrily, don't you know the courtesy of ringing the doorbell? Why didn't you call me? You didn't answer the phone, nor did you reply to the messages. Do-hyun spoke in anger. Eunhoo laughed awkwardly, stuttering as he spoke. I apologize for that. The cat was jumping around so much that I didn't notice. Luckily, Ji-hyun was there. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do on my own. Did you go with him? Eunhoo smiled and replied, yes. Do-hyun's face turned pale. He looked down at the 2 pairs of shoes in front of the house. Eunhoo proudly shared, the doctor said the cat isn't very sick. It's really lucky, and its actions are so cute. Come and see. Eunhoo continued seriously, oh right, don't say weird things to Won Ji-hyun anymore. We'll see, Do-hyun replied curtly. That crazy guy, Eunhoo muttered under his breath. Do-hyun stormed into the room, and the kitten ran scared into its cage. Seeing this, Eunhoo laughed teasingly. Indeed, animals can recognize bad people. It was playing happily, but it ran away as soon as it saw you. Do-hyun didn't say anything, he just took off his backpack and dropped the bag on the floor. Ji-hyun tapped her fingers in front of the kitten's cage, gently saying, come out, little one. Do-hyun went straight to sit on the sofa. Eunhoo brought a glass of iced water for Do-hyun. Do-hyun takes a sip and chews the ice loudly, as if he is devouring his enemy alive. Eunhoo sits next to Do-hyun, looks at the kitten, and speaks. Still can't administer the medicine? It just won't come out. We have to put eye drops in its eyes 3 times a day, morning and afternoon every day. Does anyone at your home take care of it? I know you initially planned to treat its wounds and then find someone to adopt it. If you're okay with it, I'll take it away. My eldest sister works from home and is at home all day. Therefore, it would be better for the kitten to be at my house. Do-hyun is silent for a moment, then speaks. Then, I'll leave it to you. Eunhoo claps once, leans her head on Do-hyun's leg, and says, so, it's settled, right? Let's order food now, I'm very hungry. Seeing Eunhoo leaning her head on his leg, Do-hyun smiles in agreement. Ji-hyun stands up with the cage and the kitten and says, I have to go now, let's have a meal next time. Eunhoo suddenly asks, are you just leaving like that? Do-hyun stares at Ji-hyun. Wait a minute, I'll walk you out. Do-hyun also stands up. Seeing this, Eun-hoo asks, Father Do-hyun, where are you going? Home, Do-hyun replies. Eun-hoo is surprised. What, are you leaving too? Yes, I have to go out early tomorrow. Without saying anything more, Do-hyun quickly leaves. Eun-hoo stood still, then yelled out in anger. These crazy guys, why did both of them leave? On the way home, Do-hyun and Ji-hyun met each other, but no one said anything. Suddenly, Yihvin spoke. Do you like Seo Eun-hoo? That's none of your business. Do you reply? He remembered what Eun-hoo had said. Eun-hoo considered Do-hyun as family. Ji-hyun continued. As for Eun-hoo, she said that she sees you as family. Just as they reached the first floor, Do-hyun turned to Ji-hyun and said coldly, don't interfere. Ji-hyun calmly threw an angry look at Ji-hyun. Because he forgot to bring his gym clothes, Eun-hoo ran to Do-hyun's class and shouted, Hey Cha Do-hyun, let me borrow your gym uniform. It had been several days since they last met, but Do-hyun was still glaring at Eun-hoo. After the day they took the kitten to the hospital, Eun-hoo invited Do-hyun to visit the kitten at Ji-hyun's house after school. But Do-hyun coldly replied, Are you crazy? Why should I go there? Hey, if you don't want to go, then don't. Why are you saying? Before he could finish, he hung up the phone. Eun-hoo was so angry that he was shaking. By the end of the week, Eun-hoo forgot about their library appointment. Eun-hoo's mother said, Eun-hoo went to see some cat or tiger at his friend's house, and he's been going there all day. Eun-hoo was annoyed, knowing that he had missed the appointment, but as soon as they met, his face was already frowning. Seeing that Eun-hoo's shirt was stuck, Do-hyun took the opportunity to poke Eun-hoo's waist. He jumped back in surprise. Your shirt is lifted up, Do-hyun said. Aha, Eun-hoo shyly scratched his waist. Then he said, My uniform is in your closet. That's right, I heard from my mom that Ji-hyun will join, but it's not your birthday yet. Because she has a big project, she can't organize it on the exact day. I heard it will be organized this week, but the specific date hasn't been set. Seeing that Do-hyun was still angry, Eun-hoo tapped his fingers on the table to get his attention. But Do-hyun didn't react. Eun-hoo cursed under his breath. He was staring earlier, but now he doesn't even bother to glance. He really is petty. In the end, Eun-hoo took the initiative to make peace first. He lightly touched Do-hyun's hand and said with a bright smile, What are you so busy with? It's hard for a hero to pass a beauty. Do-hyun dropped the pen in his hand and turned to look at Eun-hoo. How could he get angry with Eun-hoo's bright face? The corner of Do-hyun's mouth automatically formed a smile. Seizing the opportunity, Eun-hoo continued to poke at Do-hyun's hand. Seeing this, Do-hyun said, What's up? Want to say something? Eun-hoo excitedly opened his phone to show off. This kitten, I named it Tiger. At first, I even thought it might be a tiger cub. Look at this, it's so funny. It's preparing to hunt, it looks like a fierce beast. Eun-hoo opened all the pictures one by one to show. Since when did Do-hyun put his arm behind Eun-hoo's chair and rest his head on his shoulder? Yeah, it's cute. He said it, but Do-hyun's eyes were fixed on Eun-hoo's face. Inside, Do-hyun was praising how cute Eun-hoo, the kitten, was. Eun-hoo reluctantly said, I also want to raise it. Try asking your mom. He had tried, but his mom only nagged. Suddenly, Do-hyun leaned in and whispered in Eun-hoo's ear, Who told you to be so naughty every day? Eun-hoo burst out laughing, this crazy guy, it's so itchy I could die. Where is it? Let me scratch it for you. The whole class stared at the two of them because Do-hyun was never close to anyone like that. Suddenly, Ji-hyun called out, Seo Eun-hoo. The homeroom teacher is looking for you. Eun-hoo jumped up in surprise, it seemed like her skipping class yesterday had been discovered. Father Do-hyun, I'll return the gym clothes later. Eun-hoo hurried back to class. Didn't you tell me to go to the infirmary yesterday? I did. So why am I still being called? Do-hyun stared intently as the two of them left. Eun-hoo affectionately put her arm around Ji-hyun's shoulder. Ji-hyun and Do-hyun's eyes met. Do-hyun remembered Ji-hyun's mysterious smile from before, his heart pounding, feeling an odd sense of worry and unease. Do-hyun took Eun-hoo's uniform back to his house. He just kept inhaling the scent of Eun-hoo that was left on the clothes. That night, Do-hyun sat alone in his room, smoking and thinking about Eun-hoo. He had planned to make Eun-hoo gradually familiar with his closeness. He had blocked those who were eyeing Seo Eun-hoo. At the right time, he showed Eun-hoo his tired look and exchanged it for her sympathy. He just needed to hang around and lure Eun-hoo. He carelessly touched her hand, jokingly hugged her, played tricks to satisfy Eun-hoo's curiosity, to touch here and there, and used the excuse of being cold to pull Eun-hoo into bed. A vague feeling of worry increased. Just then, Eun-hoo texted Do-hyun, Hey, I left my uniform in your locker earlier. Do-hyun read the message and laughed, That's my Eun-hoo. He texted back, I've taken it home, we'll wash it and bring it to you. Eunhoo searched all around the classroom but couldn't find Ji-hein anywhere. He asked a friend if he had seen him, but his friend's attitude was very strange, hesitating and not answering. Eunhoo guessed that Ji-hein had been taken away by the boys who had caused trouble the day before. He was worried that they would beat Ji-hein to avenge the previous incident. After a while, his friend told him that just a while ago, Cha Do-hyun had called Won Ji-hein to the parking lot behind the auxiliary building. It seemed that he had already left. Eunhoo immediately went to find Ji-hein. Although worried, he knew Ji-hein's character was not easy to silently endure. He was only afraid that if there were too many people, she wouldn't be able to resist. Moreover, the day before, they had discussed making Ji-hein wear a skirt and a wig just because Ji-hein was a boy but too beautiful. Thinking of Ji-hein being bullied by the group, Eunhoo hurriedly ran to find her. But to his surprise, in front of him, the group was gathering to smoke together, including Ji-hein. Not understanding what was happening, he approached them. Eunhoo, why are you here? Hearing the name Eunhoo, Ji-hein was startled and turned his face towards him. Eunhoo asked, what are you guys doing here? Ji-hein was confused and couldn't answer, smoking after a meal. A friend spoke up, Won Ji-hein, you too, seeing the surprised look on Eunhoo's face. A friend asked, hey Hein, haven't you told Eunhoo? He didn't expect them to be so close. He was angry and loud, why did you suddenly disappear without saying anything? Because of you, I lost my afternoon nap. Meanwhile, Ji-hein saw Eunhoo getting angry like a little tiger. I'll go ahead, smoke quickly, and come in. Eunhoo said and turned to leave. His friend followed, hey, let's go together, we also plan to finish this cigarette and go in. Not wanting to smell the smoke, Eunhoo continued to walk. At this time, Ji-hein softly said, sit down here. Seeing Ji-hein's apologetic gesture, Eunhoo smiled and said, I know, finish your cigarette. The rest were surprised because it was the first time Eunhoo stayed where everyone was smoking. The guy told Ji-hein to move a bit further so as not to smoke Eunhoo. Ji-hein was about to go to them when suddenly Eunhoo held his hand. No need, you can smoke next to me. Eunhoo watched Ji-hein smoke attentively, then curiously asked, do you like smoking that much? Do you want to try a puff? Ji-hein answered by pointing the cigarette towards Eunhoo. Eunhoo took the cigarette and put it in his mouth. In the bathroom, Do-hyun carefully washed his hands with soap. Thinking of Eunhoo, he involuntarily smiled. The thing is, after washing the shirt and bringing it to Eunhoo, he really liked the scent of the fabric softener that Do-hyun used. Eunhoo put the shirt to his nose to smell the fragrance and continuously rubbed his face on the shirt. However, Eunhoo didn't know what bad thing Do-hyun had done with his shirt. Do-hyun reminded himself to restrain. Just then, a teacher came into the bathroom, saw the good student Do-hyun, and greeted him cheerfully. The teacher noticed the smell of cigarettes in the room. Do-hyun calmly said, the health teacher just left here. The teacher was upset, he had told the teachers not to smoke in here. Do-hyun left the bathroom and carefully smelled his shirt. Although the smell of cigarettes still lingers, Eunhoo probably doesn't recognize this school. He goes to Eunhoo's class but doesn't see him. A friend told him earlier that Seo Eunhoo went to look for Ji-hein in the auxiliary building. Do-hyun clenches his fist and coldly asks, is that so? Where is the auxiliary building? The friend stammers, behind the parking lot. Do-hyun leaves with a stern face. He wonders why it's Ji-hein again. Do-hyun arrives at the auxiliary building just in time to see Eunhoo choking from trying a cigarette of Ji-hein. Eunhoo tears up and wonders, why would anyone smoke this? Do-hyun sternly asks, hey, what are you guys doing? Everyone is shocked as they are caught smoking by the student council president. Eunhoo is confused by Do-hyun's expression. He vaguely remembers seeing that expression somewhere. A few months ago, Eunhoo had an argument with his mother. He turned off his phone and played at the internet cafe until 4 in the morning. Do-hyun appeared with that expression, but Eunhoo doesn't understand why he looks even more fierce today. Do-hyun approaches and asks, don't you remember what I said when I gave you the keys to this place? The friend stammers, remember? So you think my words mean nothing? The friend turns pale. No, it's Eunhoo today. Hearing his name, Eunhoo speaks up. What's going on? What about me? Eunhoo finds it strange that Do-hyun is so agitated. Do-hyun continues to threaten the friend. Seo Yi-won, have you accumulated enough points yet? If you violate again, I heard you will be disciplined. Hey, Cha Do-hyun. Eunhoo grabs Do-hyun's hand to get his attention. But he is ignored. Do-hyun continues to lecture the friend. Eunhoo gets angry and grips harder. Hey, stop it. Why did you come here and who are you scolding? In response, he only gets a cold stare from Do-hyun. Ji-hein saw that the situation was not good. He immediately went to call Eunhoo. Eunhoo removed his hand and reassured him. It's okay, don't interfere. At this point, the person who made Do-hyun angry was not Won Ji-hyun anymore, but Seo Eun-hoo. Do-hyun smiled faintly, then grabbed Eun-hoo's hand and pulled him away. Eun-hoo yelled out. What are you doing? Let go. Be quiet and obediently follow me. Damn it, won't you let go? I told you to let go, you jerk. Do-hyun pulled Eun-hoo to a deserted place, then restrained both hands, and cornered him against a wall. Then he used one hand to lock both of Eun-hoo's hands above his head. Eun-hoo kept screaming. What are you doing? Let go. Eun-hoo struggled but couldn't move even a bit. Hey, who are you to behave rudely with my friend? Damn it, are we your objects to vent your anger? You were so fierce just now, why are you so quiet now? Do you even look down on me? It was only then that Do-hyun spoke. Have dinner with Ms. Ji-hyun. I have an appointment tonight, so remember to stay in class after school. You crazy, just to say this you made such a fuss? Can't you just say it quickly and go? Why are you still trying to teach me a lesson? Do-hyun knew that Eun-hoo would never imagine the current thoughts in his head. Even a paper tiger touching his tongue, Do-hyun was already jealous. He carelessly put anything into his mouth. When looking at that slender white hand, he warmed the hand of another person. He always observed Eun-hoo's smallest actions, so he behaved like that. Do-hyun leaned close to Eun-hoo, coldly said if you answered the phone, then I wouldn't have seen that scene, damn it. Do-hyun cursed, then used his hand to rub Eun-hoo's lips. Next, he almost put his finger into his mouth. When Eun-hoo startled and dodged, he was held by Do-hyun with one hand. Do-hyun growled, Eun-hoo, are you trying to drive me crazy? Eun-hoo came to ask his friend about the warehouse key that Do-hyun had mentioned. At first, his friend evaded. He told about the last time he and some girls gathered in the warehouse to drink, then they were discovered by Cha Do-hyun and had the key confiscated. Eun-hoo suspiciously asked, Cha Do-hyun didn't just take the key, right? You haven't been disciplined recently, have you? Don't beat around the bush, tell the truth. Under Eun-hoo's pressure, his friend continued, Cha Do-hyun set a condition that I had to report all of his actions like where he goes, what he does, to him. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, if it's someone from another school, he can't go with him. That's all. His friend kept apologizing because he was threatened by Do-hyun and had no other choice. In class, Eun-hoo kept thinking about it. He was angry because Do-hyun didn't ask him directly but played tricks to follow him behind his back. However, he thought that because of the end-of-term pressure, he started to make trouble to relieve stress and made strange actions. Ji-hyun observed Eun-hoo for a while and then wrote a message about what he saw. Eun-hoo stared at the text and then turned his face towards Ji-hyun. He thought that Ji-hyun also knew something, only he didn't know anything. Eun-hoo's head was confused and he even hypothesized that it was not Cha Do-hyun whom he had known since childhood but another person using Cha Do-hyun's cover. Eun-hoo went to the restaurant to have a meal with everyone as promised. At this time, seeing Do-hyun's face would make him uncomfortable, but there was no other way. Why didn't you go with Do-hyun but went alone? Ji-hyun and Do-hyun have been waiting for a long time. Sister Ji-hyun cheerfully said, the kids are in a stressful study period, so it's normal to be busy. I'm sorry for being late. Long time no see, Eun-hoo is much more handsome. As for the kid Cha Do-hyun, the older he gets, the taller he gets. But why do you still look chubby and soft? Tell me your secret. Just as the appetizer was served to everyone and even before Eun-hoo could react, Do-hyun quickly blocked it. I'm sorry, my friend is allergic to all types of beans, Eun-hoo said. The server announced that they would change Eun-hoo's dish to pumpkin porridge. Eun-hoo stared at Do-hyun. He thought that Do-hyun would feel guilty about what he had done. However, instead, Do-hyun's face seemed to be angry at him, even though he was the one who made the mistake. Instead of waiting for Do-hyun to apologize, with his forgiving and generous heart, Eun-hoo decided to make peace first. Suddenly, Ji-hyun asked, why do you two seem so distant? Did you argue again? Eun-hoo was flustered. What argument? You'd think we argue all day, he said. Eun-hoo's mother gave her son a cold look. Yehvin smiled. You definitely argued. I can tell that Do-hyun did something on his own again. Right, ooh. Eun-hoo looked at Ji-hyun with admiration. You have a very objective view, he said. Ji-hyun turned to scold her brother, why do you like to pick on the adorable Eun-hoo? Suddenly, Do-hyun put his chopsticks down and said, actually, today, I did something wrong to him. I shouldn't have done that. Imsuri, unu. Eun-hoo was suspicious, not knowing what he wanted to say. Everyone was eager to know what happened. Do-hyun looked sad and said, this morning, I saw Eun-hoo smoking at school, so I lost my temper with Eun-hoo. But even if I was angry, it was a bit too much to do it in front of our friends. Eun-hoo has every right to be angry with me. Eun-hoo gritted his teeth, throwing an angry look at Do-hyun. He screamed in his heart, that damn Do-hyun, you crazy, you psycho. How dare you stab me in the back like that? Eun-hoo was so angry that he was shaking, while Do-hyun hypocritically said, "Co Eun-hoo, I'm sorry. Smoking is not good for your health, I was just worried about you." Eun-hoo's mother turned to slap her son on the back for smoking. Ji-hein defended Eun-hoo. Eun-hoo was probably just curious, so he tried it once. Eun-hoo is boiling with anger but can't do anything, while Do-hyun is smirking. The next day, Eun-hoo storms into the classroom to find Do-hyun. "Damn it, Father Do-hyun, follow me to the rooftop quickly." Do-hyun's calmness makes Eun-hoo even more furious. Even though they agreed to meet for a scolding, Do-hyun's cheerful face is incomprehensible to his classmates. Do-hyun, in a relaxed mood, goes up to the rooftop. Eun-hoo waits there, mumbling to herself. "Calm down, Co Eun-hoo, we're here to talk to Father Do-hyun. That guy has been acting weird lately. He even lets others supervise him." Eun-hoo yells out. The more she thinks about it, the more she realizes he's a damn psycho. She holds her head. "Today, I have to calmly talk properly. Why does he always do those crazy actions, or is he really crazy?" As soon as Do-hyun arrives, he locks the rooftop door. Eun-hoo is uneasy, not knowing why he locked the door. Surely he doesn't intend to hit her, right? Seeing Do-hyun's challenging smile, Eun-hoo's anger flares up again. She remembers that because of someone, she was beaten by both her father and mother yesterday. Today, for Eun-hoo, will be the day she fights to the death with Do-hyun. "Hey, you crazy guy, do you know how I was beaten yesterday? Why did you talk about that, huh? What the hell are you laughing at? You're damn crazy. You just pretended to apologize yesterday, right? Where did our friendship go?" Do-hyun steps closer to Eun-hoo. "Co Eun-hoo, it's your fault. Damn it, what are you planning to do something weird like yesterday? Step back, you crazy guy." Do-hyun slightly smirks at Eun-hoo's scared look. Eun-hoo's momentum fades, she clenches her fists, and stammers. It's true that I smoked, but you saw everything clearly yesterday, didn't you? I was just curious, so I took only one puff. Just one puff from one Ji-hein's cigarette. That was the problem." Do-hyun took out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and held it up in front of Eun-hoo. "Hey, you crazy guy," Do-hyun held onto Eun-hoo's shoulder and said in a stern voice. "I thought that if I gently coaxed you by my side, you would naturally get used to it. You also have feelings, but if it goes on like this, you will slip out of my reach." Eun-hoo didn't understand the implication of Do-hyun's words. "What the hell are you talking about?" Eun-hoo stepped back a few steps, and Do-hyun followed. "If you're curious about trying smoking, why didn't you tell me?" Eun-hoo's foot hit an obstacle behind him, and he couldn't back up any further. Do-hyun stared at him, then continued. "What's with putting everything in your mouth? Siwoo." Do-hyun pressed Eun-hoo to sit still, then took out a cigarette and forced him to smoke. "Smoke it, take a deep puff, Eun-hoo." Eun-hoo's heart was pounding, and he was utterly shocked. The person in front of him now was completely different from the Cha Do-hyun he knew. Do-hyun stood alone on the rooftop for a while. Eun-hoo returned to class like a lost soul, trying to calm himself down. But the cold expression that forced him to smoke kept appearing in his head. Eun-hoo banged his head on the table with a loud thump, cursing in his heart. "What the hell am I smoking, you crazy Cha Do-hyun?" Ji-hein saw this and asked worriedly. "What happened? You were grumbling about going to kill Cha Do-hyun, and now why are you torturing yourself? What happened up there?" Eun-hoo lay flat on the table again, cursing that damn Cha Do-hyun. "He carries cigarettes around as if he smokes a lot, yet he gets mad at me." Ji-hein realizes something is happening, because besides being angry, Eun-hoo's face is also red with embarrassment. Cha Do-hyun has been tense since yesterday. Eun-hoo jumps up. "That's right. Yesterday, he had a fit when he saw me smoking, and today he does that again." Not wanting to affect Ji-hein's studies, Eun-hoo sighs and goes somewhere else. He feels frustrated and uncomfortable. He thought no one understood Cha Do-hyun like he did, but lately, he seems like a different person. His closest friend, even like a relative. He feels sad and worried. And also, for some reason, he feels confused, his heart keeps pounding. To relieve this mood, he decides to skip school and go out. Eun-hoo picks up his backpack and leaves the class. If she asks, "Tell her I went to the infirmary," warned Ji-hein. As soon as he gets to the classroom door, he runs into his friend Kim Jong-un. He was going to invite him to play billiards, but then he remembered that he was being manipulated by Do-hyun. Eun-hoo gets bored and goes out alone. He sits and scrolls through his phone looking for a friend to invite. He used to always go with Do-hyun, so now he doesn't know who to invite. It took a while to find someone. He texts, "Hey Park Chung-hee, what are you doing?" Just as Do-hyun calls, he jumps and drops his phone. Then he keeps pressing to decline the call. Chung-hee has responded, the two agree to play billiards. Do-hyun continues to call. Eun-hoo rejected the call and immediately blocked Do-hyun's phone number. He put away his phone and skillfully climbed over the wall to go outside. He thought that without him, she wouldn't have any other friends. Eunhoo played with her friend Chung-hee until late at night before she finally went home. As soon as she arrived at the front door, she saw Do-hyun's shoes in front of her house. At that time, she had clearly warned him not to appear in front of her temporarily, "You crazy guy." She angrily slammed the door shut, quickly took off her shoes, threw her backpack on the ground, and hurried into the house. But surprisingly, she didn't see Do-hyun anywhere. He could only be in her room. Eunhoo flung open the room door and yelled angrily, "Hey!" Do-hyun was sitting on a chair, his face turned inward. Then he coldly asked, "Where have you been that you just got home now? I went to your class at noon, but you weren't there. Now just looking at your face makes me annoyed, do you know that? When I'm still speaking softly, get out." While scolding, Eunhoo put her phone on the table and took off her outer uniform. Do-hyun tried to call Eunhoo's phone but couldn't because she had blocked him. Next, Do-hyun picked up Eunhoo's jacket, then asked, "Co Eunhoo, internet cafe, or billiards hall?" Eunhoo was startled because it was too accurate but still angrily shouted, "Where I go is none of your business, are you still not willing to leave?" Do-hyun suddenly grabbed Eunhoo's hand and brought it to his nose. "You hate the cigarettes I gave you, but now your body is full of the smell of smoke. But it doesn't seem like you smoked." Eunhoo tried to pull her hand away but was still held back. "Go ask the people you planted around me, even they don't know, right? Who exactly did you go with? Won Ji-hein and your friends were all in class. Could it be that Co Eunhoo has other friends that I don't know about?" Eunhoo cursed under her breath, "This crazy guy is now openly monitoring me. Don't underestimate others too much." She forcefully shook off Do-hyun's hand. "Hey Cha Do-hyun, are you joking with me? You had your friends monitor me and you don't see anything wrong with that? I told you not to hang around in front of me temporarily. You ignored what I said, entered my house on your own, and now you're asking me?" Do-hyun remained silent. "He's ignoring me again. Fine, if you won't leave, then I will." After saying that, Eunhoo turned to leave. Then Do-hyun grabbed his leg tightly. "What now? Let go, you crazy." Do-hyun lowered his head and said, "Co Eunhoo, why do you always want me to leave? Why are you angry with me?" "Eunhoo? You're acting strange. If you continue to behave like this, then get out of my sight." After Eunhoo finished speaking, he left the room and slammed the door, leaving Do-hyun sitting alone. Outside, Eunhoo also felt that he was becoming strange, all because of Do-hyun. At lunchtime at school, because of his bad mood, Eunhoo looked at the food and didn't find it appetizing. He vented his anger on the food. Ji-hein saw this and asked, "Co Eunhoo, have you not made up with Do-hyun yet?" Eunhoo didn't answer, his face was pale. Meanwhile, Do-hyun was also having lunch with the student council vice president nearby. A junior whispered, "Senior Eunhoo is sitting behind, should we sit next to him?" Do-hyun didn't answer, he picked up the food and put it in his mouth. Eunhoo's friends advised him to forgive Do-hyun and make up with him. "If I'm not wrong, why should I apologize?" Eunhoo bluntly replied. He chewed the food angrily, thinking, whoever is wrong should apologize, why is it always me who apologizes? Eunhoo stood up in annoyance, just as two students were walking and laughing behind him and bumped into Eunhoo. The hot cup of water in their hand splashed onto Eunhoo's arm, making a long patch of his hand turn red. Ji-hein immediately ran over to check on him. "Don't touch it." Do-hyun gritted his teeth and said, then he grabbed Eunhoo's hand and pulled him to the cold water tap. Do-hyun, standing behind, holds Eunhoo's arm and says, "Bend down a bit. Stay still." Do-hyun looks very angry. He pulls Eunhoo's arm up to check, then glares at the two students. "Where did you get the idea to carry hot water and run around?" The two students apologize in fear. Seeing this, Eunhoo feels relieved. "Hey, I'm fine." Seeing Do-hyun's worried face, Eunhoo feels puzzled. "I'm the one who's hurt, but why is he like this?" Do-hyun holds his hand under the cool tap for a long time. He feels very strange, so he pulls his hand back, but Do-hyun doesn't let go. Do-hyun's face remains the same, the slight tremble from the hand holding tight, the strong heartbeat from the sturdy body behind. All of this makes Eunhoo feel strange. Do-hyun is annoyed because the health teacher is always absent. He searches for ointment for Eunhoo. Although he obediently waits for Do-hyun, he still feels that this minor burn doesn't need to go to the infirmary. However, because of earlier, Do-hyun insisted on bringing him here. Remembering Do-hyun est une action, ou chuclelitli. Seeing him holding his head, Do-hyun thinks he is sick, so he checks his forehead. It's a bit hot. Eunhoo's face turns red but not because of sickness, he waves his hand. "No, why do you always treat me as a patient who hurts everywhere? I'm tired of you, back off a bit." Do-hyun applies ointment for him, sometimes reminding him to sit still, because the burning and itching sensation makes him fidget. Do-hyun pulls his sleeve up a bit, then tells him to hold it. Then he bends close and blows gently on his hand. Eunhoo jumps and yells, "Hey, don't overdo it." He reminded Do-hyun about the student council meeting, but he planned not to go anymore. Just when the vice president called, the juniors had to continuously terrorize him. Coupled with Eunhoo's urging, Do-hyun finally agreed to go. "Wait for me a bit," Do-hyun pleaded. "No need to come back, just wait for the school nurse to check a bit. Call me when you're done. Remember to call." Oh my, look at his face, it's like a puppy. Do-hyun hesitated for a long time before finally leaving. In the end, the school nurse checked and bandaged the wound. However, the bandage kept slipping off. Eunhoo tried to wrap it back with one hand, but it still slipped off. Do-hyun was standing in front waiting for him to go home together. Seeing him, he asked worriedly, "What happened?" "I told you to call me when you're done checking. Just a little bandaging, there's no treatment or anything." He looked at Eunhoo for a while, then Do-hyun asked, "Seo Eunhoo, are you still mad at me? Your anger seems to have subsided. But making up so quickly feels strange." Eunhoo hesitated and did not answer. Do-hyun put his arm around his shoulder. "Seo Eunhoo, what's wrong all of a sudden? Step back a bit. Don't get close to those party animals anymore, I won't do that in the future." Do-hyun tightened his grip. "I'd rather be with Won Ji-hyun, no, just hang out with me. Whether it's games or billiards, I'll go with you." Eunhoo pushed Do-hyun away. "What are you talking nonsense about? Why do I have to play with only you? Don't you have any friends, you crazy guy?" Suddenly, Do-hyun came and hugged him tightly. "Yeah, I don't have any. I only have you." Eunhoo was so surprised that he froze. He also instinctively hugged Do-hyun. It seems that the summer air really knows how to make someone's heart flutter. After that day, sometimes he would ponder about the relationship between him and Do-hyun. Cha Do-hyun has been an obvious presence beside him since childhood. They went to kindergarten together, elementary school together, followed each other to both middle school and high school. That's why he thought they would always be together like now. However, upon further thought, he was wrong. With Do-hyun's achievements, he will go to some prestigious university. As for him, he will probably be an employee for his parents' barbecue restaurant. Do-hyun will find a stable job and have a girlfriend. Then there will come a time when they get married, and the two will gradually drift apart. Eunhoo didn't like that at all. He continued to imagine in a different direction. If he also graduates and has a stable job, occasionally the two can meet for a drink after work. If they go to college and live in a dorm, they can still hang out together frequently like now. When Cha Do-hyun enlists, he will also go at the same time. After getting married, they will become neighbors, just like that, the two will always be best friends. He imagined and felt worried, his heart ached. "Calm yourself, it will be okay, nothing will change." Seeing Do-hyun playing soccer with his friends on the field, that hateful guy. Eunhoo was annoyed because Do-hyun said that day that he didn't have any friends. After having lunch and returning to the classroom, Eunhoo and Ji-hyun were surprised to see the air conditioner in the room was on. Having just eaten ice cream, Eunhoo felt cold and shivered. Ji-hyun lent him his jacket. Although it was a bit short when worn, it was still warm enough. Just then, Do-hyun came over to borrow an English book from him. Seeing Eunhoo wearing someone else's jacket, Do-hyun asked, "Seo Eunhoo, are you cold?" Eunhoo casually replied, I'm not cold anymore." Suddenly, Do-hyun snatched the book from Eunhoo's hand and stormed back to his class. Eunhoo didn't understand what was going on and wondered if he had done something wrong to make him angry. Ji-hyun smiled and said he didn't know, but in fact, he had a slight guess. A while later, Do-hyun, carrying his jacket, stormed back to Eunhoo's class. Seeing Do-hyun's fierce look, Eunhoo asked, "Why are you here again, and what are you angry about?" Do-hyun gave his jacket to Eunhoo. "Wear this." He found it hard to understand. "I've borrowed Ji-hyun's jacket, so I don't need it anymore." Do-hyun still insisted on taking off the jacket that Eunhoo was wearing. What's wrong with you, you crazy guy?" Do-hyun didn't care. After taking it off, he forcefully put the jacket on the table to return to Ji-hyun. And he didn't forget to throw a bullet-like glance at him. "What the hell, you're doing strange things again," Eunhoo continued to grumble. Do-hyun remained silent, put his jacket on Eunhoo, put the hood on, and then zipped it up to the neck. Then he looked satisfied for a while. "Now it's better." Eunhoo cursed under his breath, "This crazy guy, what's with that expression?" Do-hyun leaned close to Eunhoo and said with a smirk, "Let's go home together after school." He was taken aback and couldn't react, then he got angry and cursed. "You crazy guy, what are you doing? This guy just does whatever he wants." Eunhoo put his hand into his pocket and found a lollipop. He immediately unwrapped it and ate it to relieve his frustration. After school, Eunhoo couldn't find Do-hyun anywhere. He had said they would go home together, but now there was no contact. Eunhoo called Do-hyun in annoyance. Seo Eun-hoo, Do-hyun said coldly. What now? What's with that tone? Haven't you unblocked me yet? Eun-hoo was taken aback. I went to your house first, come home quickly. Why aren't you answering? Eun-hoo stuttered in reply, only now remembering this. It turned out that Do-hyun couldn't contact him, so he kept reminding him to contact him first. But he didn't say it directly, so he rushed home. When he got home, he saw Do-hyun waiting on the sofa. He forced a smile. I'm home now. Do-hyun's face was still sullen. If you can't contact me, shouldn't you tell me to unblock you? Although Eun-hoo said he had unblocked him, Do-hyun immediately asked him to hand over his phone for direct inspection. Really, don't you trust me? Eun-hoo glanced at Do-hyun. He felt lucky because he thought he would make a fuss. Do-hyun returned the phone to Eun-hoo. See, I told you I unblocked you. He lay down on the sofa to rest, idly poking Do-hyun's thigh with his foot. Do-hyun, I'm so hungry, cook some noodles. Do-hyun laughed in a strange way. Eun-hoo immediately sat up. Hey, I was just kidding. Let me go cook. Do-hyun holds onto her leg and pushes Eun-hoo back down. It's okay, if he's hurt his hand, what can he cook? He just needs to avoid getting it wet. Do-hyun is serious. He should just lie down here. Then he goes straight to the kitchen to cook noodles. Eun-hoo sits and watches Do-hyun. She thinks Do-hyun is overdoing it. Because he's not seriously ill. Meanwhile, Do-hyun is very familiar with her house. He does everything without asking. Eun-hoo asks where Do-hyun went earlier. She went to look but didn't see him. Do-hyun says he went to scout out a good location for graduation photos. Next week, the third year will go on a picnic to take graduation photos. Eun-hoo didn't expect it to come so quickly. Graduation is coming up. Pausas fora moment. Do-hyun has also finished cooking the noodles. They look delicious. The taste is very strange. The more she chews, the less flavor there is. Later, it's even sour. She doesn't know what he put in it. What's wrong? What did he put in? The packaging said adding sugar and vinegar would enhance the flavor. So, I added a little. Maybe I shouldn't have added it while cooking, right? It's not tasty, is it? Do-hyun's face looks so sad, it's pitiful. Even though he doesn't know how to cook, he still tries to take care of the patient. Eun-hoo grits her teeth and continues to eat. It's okay. It's still edible. Do-hyun decides to order pizza for dinner. Father Do-hyun. In the future, he doesn't need to cook. Sitting and watching Do-hyun clean up, Eun-hoo thinks. Because she is good at cooking noodles. After dinner, they read stories together. The aunt and uncle are home late, aren't they? I forgot to mention. Today, after finishing work, my parents went to my grandmother's house. So, they should be back on Sunday. Do-hyun seizes the opportunity. He asks, you must be scared being alone at night, right? So, I'm considered a child now, huh? Seo Eun-hoo said. Do-hyun called out and leaned in close. Let's sleep together tonight. Eun-hoo became irritated. Stop it. I told you I'm not scared. Do-hyun recounted a story from when they were in 5th grade. Eun-hoo was home alone. He was so scared that he cried and ran to his house to ask for a sleepover. He even brought his pillow. Really, he was just a kid back then. Whether it was then or now, it's still the same. Do-hyun got up to look for clothes to change into. He rummaged through his underwear drawer. Eun-hoo blushed, not knowing how to find sleepwear. He rummaged through it again. But to his surprise, he found a pair of Do-hyun's underwear in his drawer. While he didn't even know about it. Eun-hoo's face turned bright red. He rummaged through the clothes drawer. To find clothes that would fit Do-hyun. Finally, he found the largest pants. Do-hyun finished bathing. Eun-hoo hadn't had time to buy new bandages. So today he didn't bathe. Do-hyun wanted to help Eun-hoo wash his hair. Even though he refused. But in the end, he couldn't stop Do-hyun's insistence. Eun-hoo kept squirming because he had been bending down for a long time, so his neck was tired. This reminded him of the time when Do-hyun got injured in the wrist while preparing for the tournament. It was in the first year of high school. Back then, I always washed his hair for him. Do you remember? Yes, I do. At that time, he wasn't even 1m7 tall yet. So I had to bend him down to make it easier to wash. Teasing about height, Eun-hoo angrily kicked Do-hyun's foot. He yelled. Remembering those emotionally charged memories. Surprised by the attack, Do-hyun jerked, causing the shower head he was holding to shift, spraying water directly into Eun-hoo's eyes. Eun-hoo staggered and inadvertently knocked the shower head, making it fall to the floor. Water splashed all over the room, soaking both of them completely. Do-hyun stared at Eun-hoo, his white back visible beneath the wet clothes. After the incident, Do-hyun resumed washing Eun-hoo's hair. Enjoying the moment, suddenly shampoo flowed into his eyes. Eun-hoo panicked and cried out. My eyes, shampoo got into my eyes. His hand flailed and clung to Do-hyun's inner thigh. Do-hyun was startled. Damn, does he know where he's grabbing? Eun-hoo's eyes were tightly shut, whimpering. Oh hell, how would I know? Shampoo flowed into my eyes, quickly wash it out. I won't lose my vision, right? Do-hyun suppressed his voice. Let go so I can handle it. He suppressed the rising wave, took the shower head to rinse Eun-hoo's eyes, and told her not to open her eyes to avoid water flowing in. Then suddenly, Do-hyun ran out, slamming the door behind him. Eun-hoo's eyes were still tightly shut, she screamed in confusion. What are you doing? Where did you disappear to? Hand me a towel. Hey, Cha Do-hyun. You're crazy. Duyung kursid. Finally, he managed to resolve the mess. Both of them squeezed onto Eun-hoo's small bed. But hey, I'm very suspicious of your character. How could you leave me in the bathroom like that? I guess I won't let you wash my hair again. Do-hyun suddenly sat up, draped over Eun-hoo. Seo Eun-hoo, next time I'll bathe you. Looking at his nonchalant smiling face, Eun-hoo got angry and hit him with a pillow. Damn this crazy guy, he's making me so mad. His face turned red, his heart pounding, while the other guy was laughing with satisfaction. Always arbitrarily getting close to others' faces, now she had to chase him away. They played rock-paper-scissors with Do-hyun, the loser had to go buy ice cream. Do-hyun asked with a smile, you still want to eat ice cream at this hour? Eun-hoo turned and left. Then I'll go by myself. Don't whine about not getting any. Do-hyun wanted to go with her, but Eun-hoo insisted on playing rock-paper-scissors. Do-hyun laughed and indulged him. The result was that Eun-hoo lost. Having no other choice, he went to buy ice cream in annoyance. In the end, Do-hyun still followed. He took jackets for both of them and happily followed Eun-hoo. They sat in a park near the apartment, eating ice cream and chatting. Because she was wearing sandals, sand got into her feet. Eun-hoo wiggled her feet to shake it off. He asked, when Cha Do-hyun goes to college, will you move? Do you want that? Do-hyun asked back, standing up and walking towards Eun-hoo. Eun-hoo didn't answer. He thought that because it was night, his mind wasn't clear, which is why he asked such pointless questions. Do-hyun came next to Eun-hoo and asked again, I'm asking if you want me to move? Eun-hoo looked up and answered, well, I think if the school is far away, it would be hard to commute. After all, Ji-hyun doesn't often come home, so there's no reason to stay here. Suddenly, Do-hyun sat down, lifted Eun-hoo's foot, and asked a puzzling question, is there anywhere you want to live? It would be convenient if it's near the school. Do-hyun used his hand to brush off the sand stuck under Eun-hoo's foot. Why are you suddenly asking me that? If you don't mean anything, I'll just choose a suitable place. Eun-hoo felt ticklish because of Do-hyun's hand and asked again, but what does that have to do with me? Do-hyun continued to brush the sand off her other foot and answered, you're also living there. It wouldn't be nice if I decide alone. Carefully, Do-hyun put her sandals back on for Eun-hoo. Eun-hoo was surprised, you mean we're going to live together? Or are you planning to live here alone? Find a small apartment, take your time to think about it. Even if it's far from my school, it's okay. Do-hyun sat on the other end of the seesaw, making Eun-hoo wobble. What are you talking about? I will just work part-time around our neighborhood. Or I will enlist a little earlier. When you're free, we can hang out together. How can the two of us live together? Without me, how can this place be called our home? Whether you plan to work more or retake the exam, please stay with me. Even if you don't like it, it won't change, so please accept it. Do-hyun steps forward and takes Eun-hoo's hand. How can I live without him? Eun-hoo knows that look in Do-hyun's eyes. It's the look he gives his opponent before the battle begins. It's the look he gives an unsolvable problem within an hour. Eun-hoo just lies comfortably in Do-hyun's arms. When you discover a dog staring at you with bright eyes, don't look at it directly. Instead, run away quickly. Do-hyun's eyes are the same. Eun-hoo tells herself to immediately avoid him. She pushes Do-hyun away, immediately turns around, and leaves first. Her face is burning hot, her heart is about to explode. That crazy guy always says things that make others confused. Right now, I feel so worried, like I'm about to be bitten by a mad dog. The two of them return to Eun-hoo's house. After cleaning up the trash in the outer room, Do-hyun enters the room and sees that Eun-hoo has been asleep for a while. He just stands there, watching Eun-hoo sleep for a while. She sleeps so carelessly without any precautions. Cover yourself with a blanket and sleep, turn the air conditioner to the coldest setting. As Do-hyun speaks, he pulls the blanket over her. However, in a moment of losing control, Do-hyun gently strokes her body. His reason tells him that if he crosses the line like this, in the worst case, when Eun-hoo wakes up halfway, she will feel disgusted and leave him. Do-hyun sits still for a while, then turns back, carefully pulls the blanket over Eun-hoo. Good night, Seo Eun-hoo. On graduation photo day, everyone is free to take photos. At 2:30, we will gather to take a group photo with the class. Seeing Ji-hyun sitting alone, Eun-hoo approaches and asks, "Why are you sitting here alone? Where is Do-hyun's father?" Ji-hyun asks back, "He's probably with some kids in the class, why?" "Oh, it's nothing." Ji-hyun secretly thought that if he saw me with him, he would go crazy. Seeing Ji-hyun playing a game, Eun-hoo said he was bored and wanted to watch. So, he rested his head on Ji-hyun's shoulder and watched him play the black cat game intently. Seeing that Eun-hoo also wanted to play, Ji-hyun gave his phone to him. Then, unexpectedly, Do-hyun appeared and held Eun-hoo's hand. "Unal, kumiyar." "What? Why are you here? Why didn't you check my message? My phone is out of battery." Do-hyun took the phone from Eun-hoo's hand and returned it to Ji-hyun. To not disturb the lovebirds, Ji-hyun stood up and went somewhere else. "Where are you going?" "Weskid. I have to find the others. I'm leaving." Seeing Ji-hyun's strange expression, Eun-hoo frowned and asked, "Did you say something to Ji-hyun?" Do-hyun watched Ji-hyun leave, then invited Eun-hoo to have lunch together. Eun-hoo said he wasn't hungry and didn't want to eat anything. So, Do-hyun ordered 2 meals by himself. Eun-hoo turned and reminded him, "You ordered too much. Can you finish all that by yourself? I'm not eating." Do-hyun took out a black card to pay, which belonged to his sister. The young waitress gently said that they couldn't accept this card. "Could you please pay in another way?" Do-hyun politely smiled and replied, "Sure." Eun-hoo muttered under his breath, "Annoying." He tried to force that smile. He probably wanted to maintain his image or something. After preparing the food, the cheerful waitress gave it to Do-hyun. Eun-hoo suddenly grabbed the food tray. "The weather is very nice, so let's eat outside. Come here quickly." Seeing this, Do-hyun laughed happily and followed. "Wait, let's go together, Seo Eun-hoo." Seeing Do-hyun keep wiping the dining table, Eun-hoo said, "Don't be too clean like that, sit down. What time does your class gather?" 2:30, so after eating, we can take a walk and it will be just in time. It's troublesome, just sit here. After saying that, Eun-hoo took a bite of the sandwich. However, as soon as he bit into it, he immediately paused, hastily put the sandwich down on the table, and covered his mouth with his other hand. Seeing this, Do-hyun asked, "What's wrong?" After hearing Eun-hoo reply that there were peanuts in the sandwich, Do-hyun immediately raised his hand, telling him to spit it out onto his hand. "Spit it out. Spit it out quickly." Seeing Eun-hoo still hesitating, Do-hyun moved closer and held Eun-hoo's face, forcing him to spit out the sandwich in his mouth. "Is your throat not itchy?" Do-hyun asked seriously. Eun-hoo was extremely embarrassed, because a clean person like him told his friend to spit out what he had chewed onto his hand like that. After Do-hyun left, the waitress who brought the water called out. She looked around as if looking for someone. After seeing Do-hyun return, she immediately smiled brightly. "Finish the remaining cake, it doesn't have peanut butter. Also, rinse your mouth with water." Eun-hoo still paid attention to what happened earlier. She really wants to ask why Do-hyun told him to spit out his own hand, that's so disgusting. And she wants to ask what Do-hyun and that female employee talked about, did they flirt and exchange numbers? Do-hyun always makes others feel annoyed and uncomfortable like this. After eating, Do-hyun held Eun-hoo's hand and led him to a quiet and cool lakeside. Eun-hoo lay down on the green grass, looking up at Do-hyun and thinking silently. Cha Do-hyun is really strange, he has only become strange recently. Remembering previous actions, Eun-hoo realizes that Do-hyun has been like this for a while. Or maybe he's still the same, and only Eun-hoo has changed. So, the one who becomes strange is actually me. Eun-hoo closes his eyes, lost in thought. Suddenly, Do-hyun leans close, then uses a tuft of grass to tickle Eun-hoo's face. While Eun-hoo jerks and screams, "Ah, what the heck, stop it," quickly, Do-hyun sits beside, laughing heartily. Do-hyun raises his hand to help Eun-hoo sit up, but not forgetting to wave the tuft of grass in front of Eun-hoo's face. As they pass by the public drinking area, Eun-hoo tells Do-hyun to stop and have a drink before leaving. Seizing the opportunity, Eun-hoo mischievously splashes water on Do-hyun as revenge. "Haha, how's that, refreshing? Or do you want to try too?" Do-hyun joins in, splashing water back, and both of them laugh gleefully. Under the afternoon sun, there's even a beautiful rainbow appearing. The teacher sees both of them soaking wet and scolds them not to slip and fall. Eun-hoo is also a bit worried because his shirt is quite wet. Do-hyun quickly takes off his uniform shirt and hands it to Eun-hoo. He skillfully helps Eun-hoo take off his shirt, then puts his own shirt on him. Hurry up and take the picture, but the shirt is too loose. As a result, Eun-hoo graduated with a photo ID bearing the name Cha Do-hyun. After finishing the graduation photo, both of them hailed a taxi home. Because his clothes were all wet, Eun-hoo felt a bit cold. "It's hard to catch a taxi here. That's why I said you should wait a bit longer, then come back home with everyone." Hyun turned off the fan where they were sitting and replied, "Are you telling me to stay like this? My underwear is soaked too, it feels sticky and uncomfortable. I want to graduate quickly to get my driver's license. After my birthday, I can take the test right away, can't I? Is that so?" Hyun responde. "Seems like it, but let's finish the college entrance exam first, then we can study for the driver's license together." "Let's see, I haven't thought about it." "Hey, once you have the license, Sister Ji-hyun will buy you a car. Study with me, it's boring to study alone. It's just that I'm still afraid of driving." Hearing Hyun's answer, Eunwoo stopped short. Knowing that Hyun still had trauma from his parents' accident, Eunwoo turned to look at him worriedly. Seeing Eunwoo staring at him, Hyun lightly flicked his nose and said with a smile, "What are you thinking about?" Eunwoo shyly replied, I'll quickly get my driver's license, then I'll use Dad's car to take you around, okay? You just need to sit obediently in the passenger seat." After a while, Eunwoo dozed off, leaning his head on Hyun's shoulder and sleeping soundly. Hyun wished that time could stop at this moment because he was afraid his greed would never cease. The summer atmosphere, the warmth from the shoulder, and the freshness of Eunwoo, he wished it could stay like this forever. As the bus entered the tunnel, Hyun held Eunwoo's hand, then gently leaned down to kiss Eunwoo's forehead. Touching the strands of hair on his forehead, Hyun gently brushed his lips against that skin. That night, Eunwoo was sleeping when Hyun called. "Are you sleeping?" "Yes, because someone was causing chaos all day, so I'm dead tired." "How about you, aren't you sleeping?" "I'm a bit tired." "Have you taken a bath?" "Yes, I've been home for a while now." "How about the rice?" "I've eaten, you crazy guy." "Seo Eunwoo, do you want to come to my house now?" Eunwoo nervously says, "Don't talk nonsense and say things like that, others will misunderstand." "Misunderstand what?" Hyun asks back. "It's like, you're tempting others." Hyun laughs. "So, you misunderstood too?" Eunwoo jumps up and retorts, "What are you saying, you crazy guy? I said that because I was thinking about you." Suddenly Hyun says, "Seo Eunwoo, it's already 12 o'clock. "So what, is there something?" Eunwoo moves to pull the curtain. "You have something to say to me." "I'll say it to you." "Oh, Hyun please." However, Eunwoo thinks the person who should be talking is Father Hyun. After thinking for a while, Eunwoo says, "I have nothing to say." Hyun is still stubborn. "What do you mean? What is there to have?" "Seo Eunwoo, say happy birthday." "So it's about this." Eunwoo embarrassingly lies face down on the bed. Eunwoo wants to ask, "Why did you hold my hand? Why did you even kiss my forehead?" The next morning when she woke up, Eunwoo's parents left money and a note on the table. They will be home late today, so they asked her to organize a birthday party for Hyun. The seaweed soup her mother cooked is ready, and she should remember to buy a birthday cake. Today, the girls at school were competing to give Hyun birthday presents, to the point where the cakes filled the entire classroom. Seeing Eunwoo's face not looking so good, Ji-hyun asked, "Did you not sleep well?" "Yeah, a bit." "You don't look so good." Eunwoo saw everyone throwing a birthday party for him. Ji-hyun said, "They organized it once in the morning, and now again? You don't have to go, right? Even without me, there are plenty of other people to wish him. It's just a birthday, but they're making a big deal out of it." "Annoying guy," Eunwoo muttered under his breath. After school, a friend invited Eunwoo to go to the internet cafe, but he declined. Just then, the two of them saw Hyun standing with a girl. His friend said, "Today is his birthday, so his desk is full of gifts. Now there's even a confession scene, what's there to like about that rude guy?" Eunwoo stared intently at the two of them, then turned and left. "I'll go ahead, I left something in the classroom." Just then, Hyun also saw Eunwoo's back. On the way home, Eunwoo passed by a cake shop. He was still upset, so he turned around and left, but after a while, he hesitated. As a result, he went into the shop and chose a cute strawberry cake for Hyun. He didn't know if they would meet today, but he had already bought it. When he got home, he put the cake on the table and took a bath. After bathing, he continued to watch movies, but he still cared about that cake. In the end, he decided to take the initiative to call Cha Hyun. "Where are you?" "Why? At school?" "Not sure," Hyun replied. Eunwoo guessed that he was with that girl, so he answered in a perfunctory manner. He hesitated and said, "Come to my house, my mom made seaweed soup." "Is that all?" Hyun asked. Eunwoo was fiddling with the ribbon on the cake but only replied, "He likes seaweed, what else?" Hearing Hyun laugh, he then said, "Go open the door. I'm in front of your house, so go open the door." As soon as Eunwoo opened the door, Hyun immediately asked, "Seo Eunwoo, have you been waiting for me?" They both had dinner together. Seeing Hyun eat a lot and deliciously, Eunwoo asked, "Are you hungry?" "No, not really hungry." "But you eat so well." Of course, it's the birthday dinner that Seo Eun-hoo prepared for me, Do-hyun replied with a smile. Seeing the bracelet Do-hyun was wearing, Eun-hoo asked, "What's that? I've never seen it before. Did she give it to you when you were with that girl earlier?" "Why, Eun-hoo, are you bothered?" Eun-hoo pulled the chair up and replied, "Crazy guy, stop talking nonsense. If you're done eating, then leave, I'm tired." Eun-hoo took the opportunity to wash the dishes. Do-hyun asked, "Why do you always send me home? So after eating, I have to go home, right?" Do-hyun approached the refrigerator, smiled and said, "So cold, even bought a cake." Eun-hoo was helpless. "When did he see that? I put it in the cupboard." He turned around and replied curtly, "What to buy? I saw it on the way home so I picked it up." Do-hyun took out the cake and said, "Blow the candle with me, then I will go." Sitting in front of the lit cake, Eun-hoo instructed, "Hey, don't forget to make a wish before blowing out the candle. Don't be like last year, having to light the candle a second time." "I know." He answered like that, but Do-hyun just sat still, staring at Eun-hoo's face. "Hey, make a wish quickly." Eun-hoo reminded him again. Not knowing if Do-hyun had made a wish yet, he kept looking at Eun-hoo like that, to the point where Eun-hoo shyly avoided his gaze. Why is he staring at me without making a wish? Waiting for Do-hyun to finish blowing out the candle, Eun-hoo immediately urged. "You finished blowing, now go home." "I'll go home after eating, it's my birthday today." Eun-hoo took the plate to cut the cake for Do-hyun. Her hand accidentally brushed against the cake, getting a bit of cream on her wrist. She immediately stood up intending to wash it off. Unexpectedly, Do-hyun held her arm, then used his tongue to lick the cream off, his eyes filled with desire. "Let go, you crazy guy." Eun-hoo was startled and pulled her hand back, but couldn't escape from Do-hyun's hand. Her body was burning hot, a hard-to-describe emotion welled up. Do-hyun realized, Eun-hoo was trying to avoid his gaze, her hand clenched tightly. It showed that Eun-hoo also felt the strange things between the two. Do-hyun bluntly said, "The cake is delicious." Eun-hoo pulled her hand back, cursed under her breath, "You're crazy, your brain has a problem." Do-hyun rummaged in his bag, took out a small box and gave it to Eun-hoo, "This is for you." After Do-hyun left, Eun-hoo sat on the bed, her hand fondling the bracelet Do-hyun gave. She tried to remember Do-hyun's face when she asked, "Is this bracelet a gift from that little girl? What's wrong, Eun-hoo? Are you worried?" She was startled remembering what Do-hyun had said. She put the bracelet in the box, then hurriedly turned off the light to sleep. However, she tossed and turned and still couldn't sleep. Remembering Do-hyun's face when he licked the cake off her hand, Eun-hoo shyly pulled the blanket over her face. The next morning, Eun-hoo woke up, startled to see Do-hyun sitting next to her bed. "What's going on?" She was startled. "What are you doing here? I asked you." However, Do-hyun didn't answer. Instead, he climbed onto your bed and slowly approached you. "Goodness, why climb up here? Can't you just disappear? Why do you keep pushing me away like this? So cold-hearted. Sit still, today is my birthday." Eun-hoo found it very strange. Do-hyun's birthday was yesterday. Do-hyun helped Eun-hoo lie down, then stuck out his tongue, saying he would enjoy it. Eun-hoo tried to escape but couldn't, his body wouldn't move as he wished. Do-hyun teased, "Seo Eun-hoo, it seems you really like it." "Very delicious," Do-hyun praised. Eun-hoo, furious, forcefully grabbed his own pants. He didn't understand why he had that weird dream. After cleaning up and returning to the room, he saw the bracelet Do-hyun gave him was on the table. He angrily put it in the drawer. Like any other day, they went to school together. Because of the dream this morning, Eun-hoo didn't want to face Do-hyun. Seeing Eun-hoo standing there dazed, Do-hyun turned back and asked why he wasn't leaving. What was he doing standing there for? He snapped back, "What's it to you?" Do-hyun, puzzled, asked, "Why so sensitive early in the morning? Can't sleep? Is it your business?" "No need to worry." Eun-hoo hurriedly left. During the general cleaning session, Eun-hoo stood there hesitantly without tidying up. Later, he asked Ji-hyun. He told about his old school, because people discovered that thing, so he was isolated, right? The thing that he is gay. Eun-hoo whispered. At that time, he didn't have any close friends, a friend that he had been close to for a long time. Ji-hyun said he didn't have a long-term best friend, because due to his parents' job, he had to change schools frequently. But I used to like an old friend. While talking to Ji-hyun, Eun-hoo saw Do-hyun walking with a female friend under the schoolyard. Just as Do-hyun looked up, Eun-hoo immediately retreated into a corner to avoid. Do-hyun saw all her strange actions. Eun-hoo was very curious and wanted to ask Ji-hyun about the relationship between him and the old friend, but she couldn't speak. Because she didn't need to listen, it was very easy to guess the outcome. She reminded herself not to reveal about the dream yesterday and the chaotic emotions right now. When it was time for physical education, Eun-hoo wanted to stay in class to rest, so she asked Ji-hein to tell the physical education teacher that she had gone to the medical room. While resting in the class, Do-hyun came to find her. "Seo Eun-hoo, why are you avoiding me?" "Avoid what?" Eun-hoo replied. "So why is it time for physical education and you didn't come to borrow my stuff?" Do-hyun glanced at her hand, continued, also not wearing the bracelet. Eun-hoo was annoyed thinking, why do I have to wear that bracelet? She clenched her hand and shouted. "Hey Cha Do-hyun, do you find it fun to joke with others like that?" "Joking? Am I joking with you?" Do-hyun seriously asked back. "Seo Eun-hoo, who said that? Who said I made you a joke?" Do-hyun asked, but Eun-hoo did not answer. "Get out, I have nothing to say to you." Eun-hoo stood up and left. Do-hyun immediately held her hand, without explaining where are you going. Eun-hoo shook off Do-hyun's hand, then hurriedly left the class, leaving Do-hyun standing there. He sighed, "Why are you so difficult to understand?" Because the school nurse was not in the room, Ji-hein rummaged through the medicine cabinet and took out a box of digestive medicine for Eun-hoo, just as Do-hyun also came to the medical room. He stepped forward and snatched the medicine box from Ji-hein's hand, then ordered, "Wan Ji-hein, can you get out of the way?" While Ji-hein obediently left, Do-hyun turned to talk to Eun-hoo. "Seo Eun-hoo, talk to me a bit. I said I have nothing to say to you. Let go of this bastard." Eun-hoo wanted to leave, but her hand was held by Do-hyun. Do-hyun tightened Eun-hoo's hands, turned her face to face him. "If you have something you don't like, you have to tell me. Tell me clearly, when did I joke with you?" Eun-hoo remained silent, and Do-hyun continued to speak. "Because you said you didn't like it, I've been behaving very properly. Or do you prefer me to behave like this?" Eun-hoo angrily pushed Do-hyun away and shouted loudly. "Damn it, we're both men, but you're playing such strange games. What do you want me to do?" Do-hyun moved closer, causing Eun-hoo to inadvertently sit back on the hospital bed. He stared and said, "Joking? Am I joking with you? Tell me, Seo Eun-hoo, do you think I look like I'm joking? If you think this is also a joke, then you probably don't care, right?" After finishing his words, Do-hyun put his arms around Eun-hoo's face and kissed him. Eun-hoo opened his eyes in surprise. Then he pushed Do-hyun away hard and wiped his mouth with his hand. "You crazy guy." Do-hyun still had a threatening aura, saying, "If I really considered you a joke, you would have been under my feet a long time ago. The infirmary, the bathroom, where hasn't your face turned red?" The two of us just stared at each other like that. Eun-hoo kept wiping his mouth. Although Eun-hoo didn't want to get into the current situation, he probably predicted this, that a conflict between the two would happen one day. That night, while Eun-hoo was burying his face in the blanket, Do-hyun's sister texted that she couldn't arrange her work, so she couldn't go with them tomorrow. Eun-hoo immediately checked the calendar. Tomorrow is the death anniversary of Do-hyun's parents. He felt self-blame for forgetting about this. That day, after the funeral ended, Eun-hoo saw Do-hyun hiding alone to cry. He ran over and hugged Do-hyun tightly, crying bitterly with him. "Don't cry, I will replace your parents and stay with you for a lifetime." Do-hyun was preparing clothes for tomorrow when he received a text from Eun-hoo. "I will come to your house at 9 a.m. tomorrow." That day, Do-hyun was still happily watching Eun-hoo sleep in class when the teacher rushed over to give him bad news. Everything was like a nightmare. When he heard that his parents had died, Do-hyun didn't shed a single tear, just stood there with a blank face. Do-hyun's sister buried her face in his chest and sobbed. He realized how small she always was. Amidst the choking sobs and words of sympathy around him, Do-hyun suddenly heard Seo Eun-hoo's trembling voice. Do-hyun's body stiffened as if paralyzed, while Seo Eun-hoo seemed to be crying in waves for him. The funeral procedures were longer and more complicated than he thought. When someone leaves, there are many things to worry about afterwards. Although Do-hyun's sister was also very tired, she still advised her brother to rest. He stared intently at his parents' portrait. Suddenly, a wave of nausea hit him, forcing him to bend over in pain. Eun-hoo immediately ran over to support him. "Are you okay, Do-hyun?" "No, you should go inside and rest a bit. You haven't eaten or slept for hours, do you know that? If you keep this up, you'll faint." "You haven't slept either," Do-hyun replied. Not wanting to argue at this time, Eun-hoo asked Do-hyun's sister to look after this place, while he took Do-hyun to the restroom. Do-hyun told Eun-hoo not to worry and to go home to rest, but Eun-hoo insisted on not leaving. He wanted to rest next to Do-hyun. Seeing Do-hyun shivering from the cold, Eun-hoo immediately moved closer and hugged him, whispering, "I will stay with you until you fall asleep." As Do-hyun's body trembled as if some cells were being destroyed, Seo Eun-hoo held him tightly. He found Eun-hoo extremely adorable. Near their parents' grave, the two of them buried a box full of memories together. Eun-hoo gently said, "Do-hyun, let's come here together next year. And the year after that, I will also come here with you." Eunhoo held Do-hyun's hand tightly and continued, no, we will come here together for the rest of our lives. You won't be alone, Cha Do-hyun. I will always be by your side. According to Do-hyun, perhaps Eunhoo was a gift from his parents. Let's go home. Yeah, let's go. The next morning, as promised, Eunhoo was waiting for Do-hyun in front of the house. A while later, Do-hyun arrived. They didn't talk much and quickly set off for the cemetery. Since it was quite far from his house, they both took the bus. On the bus, Eunhoo dozed off, resting her head on Do-hyun's shoulder. Do-hyun poured milk at the base of a tree, while Eunhoo diligently weeded. He said, if he had known, he would have brought flowers. Do-hyun remained silent. Eunhoo continued, next year let's plant some flowers here. She stood up and took a bottle of wine from Do-hyun. She said, it's been a long time since we've been here. This guy has recently been top of the school. Even if I threw him on a deserted island, he would still survive. He has Do-hyun's sister, and he has his parents, so don't worry, but rest assured. Next year we will visit again, goodbye. After speaking, Eunhoo gave the wine bottle to Do-hyun to pour the rest. Suddenly, Do-hyun grabbed the wine bottle and drank it. After he finished drinking, he gave it back to Eunhoo. Looking at the wine bottle for a moment, Eunhoo also took a few sips. Eunhoo is not used to drinking wine, so she made a face. Seeing this, Do-hyun laughed out loud, and Eunhoo also laughed at herself. What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? Do-you replied? It's been a long time. Eunhoo saw a moment of peace in their relationship. At the end of the day, because the last bus was suddenly cancelled, the earliest they could return to Seoul was tomorrow. Do-hyun intended to take a taxi back, but Eunhoo stopped him because it was a long way and very expensive. Eunhoo suddenly remembered that there was a villa nearby that belonged to Do-hyun, where he had visited in the 2nd grade, and there was a beautiful beach next to it. In the end, they decided to stay at the villa. Do-hyun told her to take a bath in the downstairs bathroom, and he would use the one upstairs. After both of them had taken a bath, Do-hyun continued to divide the sleeping hours. He said, you sleep here, I will go downstairs to sleep on the sofa. Eunhoo remembered the times when they used to visit the villa. They would sleep together on one bed. He grabbed Do-hyun's clothes and said, you don't need this, just sleep here. You won't be able to sleep if you're not comfortable. Do-hyun removed Eunhoo's hand and left. Lying alone on the large bed, Eunhoo was lost in thought. Throughout the day, Cha Do-hyun always avoided his gaze. Eunhoo was angry because everything was caused by Do-hyun, and now he was acting like this. Unable to sleep, Eunhoo got up and ran down the stairs. He said, Cha Do-hyun, talk to me. However, Do-hyun was not on the sofa. Looking outside the door, Eunhoo saw her sitting and looking at the sea. Eunhoo came to Do-hyun and didn't say anything, just quietly sat down next to him. Do-hyun said, Taekwondo, studying, or anything else, none of it can trouble me. Only Seo Eunhoo is really difficult. Just like that, the two of them looked straight into each other's eyes for a long time. Time seemed to freeze for a moment. Eunhoo could no longer deny his heart. He realized that he might have fallen for Cha Do-hyun. Eunhoo accepted Do-hyun's kiss on the beach without avoiding it. However, the next morning, Eunhoo returned to Seoul alone to avoid Do-hyun. Even though the feelings of both were directed towards each other, Eunhoo was still afraid that one day, there would be a broken ending. Cha Do-hyun was someone he absolutely did not want to lose, just because of this momentary flutter. That night, it rained heavily, and there was thunder. While he was alone at home, Eunhoo heard continuous knocking on the door. He startled awake. He opened the door to find a drenched Do-hyun standing outside. Raindrops streamed down his face, resembling tears. Eunhoo feared what Do-hyun was about to say. Do-hyun asked, do you like me? Eunhoo nervously replied, no, that's not it, why would you think that? Eunhoo tightly held Do-hyun's hand and said, hey, for 19 years, we've been together for 19 years. You and me, do you think it makes sense? If we happen to fall in love and then break up, what then? Are you confident you can sever this family-like relationship? Are you confident we can go our whole lives without looking at each other's faces, you madman? After a moment of silence, Do-hyun said, Seo Eunhoo, I've decided never to see you again. You selfish jerk, does 19 years together mean nothing? You know my feelings. Since I could think, I've never considered you a friend. I approached you before, not knowing, not intending to make you comfortable. Is that my fault now? Seo Eunhoo, until now, I've been the selfish one, right? If we accidentally kissed, now you want to deny it? You're the one who needs to rearrange those thoughts. Don't give me any false hope while you only accept half-heartedly. Done speaking, Do-hyun turned and left. Standing before the elevator, he said his final words. Besides, I can't treat you like a friend anymore. Even if you knew I wanted to devour you dozens, hundreds of times, you couldn't say we're friends anymore. Family? What nonsense is that? What pervert desires their own brother? Eunhoo stood there in dismay for a while. In the dark night, he couldn't see anything. It seemed he was lost alone. He went to steal a bottle of liquor from his father to show off at school. Seeing this, Eunhoo asked, "Where are you planning to drink?" "I'll go too." Everyone was surprised. "Don't you not know how to drink?" Eunhoo said seriously, "This time I'll try." They all sneaked into the warehouse to drink. Seeing Eunhoo gulping continuously, his friends advised him to go slow because this liquor is very strong. He liked the burning sensation as the liquor flowed down his throat. Many people believe that drinking alcohol will improve their mood, but he doesn't think so. The words Cha Do-hyun said last night kept swirling in his head. He wanted to call Do-hyun but didn't know what to say. Accidentally pressing the call button, Eunhoo immediately hung up, but it had become a missed call. His friend asked if he wanted to drink more. Feeling a bit dizzy, Eunhoo decided not to drink anymore. He planned to stay here for a while before going home. Suddenly, the warehouse door opened, and Cha Do-hyun walked in. "You're good at driving people crazy, huh?" "I'm studying, yet I rushed here like a madman," he said. "Do you all like doing useless things like this?" "Seo Eunhoo is here too, huh?" Do-hyun walked towards Eunhoo as he spoke. "Un gutongri. Damn you, Cha Do-hyun, do you think you're so clever with that kind of talk?" Do-hyun glanced at the group, coldly ordering, "All of you, get out." The group obediently left quickly. Only 2 remained. Do-hyun asked, "Are you having fun?" "Fun? Do you think this situation is fun?" Un retorted. Sudanli, Do-hyun grabed un westchin. Who turns all red and sits dumbfounded in a pile of garbage? Is that not fun? I did say I imagined filthy and rubbish things about you, so you called me to roll around with you in this filthy dump? Do-hyun it closet. Hey, Cha Do-hyun, can't you talk differently? I've said it, from now on, I can't consider you a friend anymore. Done speaking, Do-hyun buried his face in Eunhoo's neck and bit down aggressively. Trembling in fear, Eunhoo pushed him away and screamed. "Damn it, where does this relationship come from? For you, isn't the time we spent together important? Is the 19-year relationship meaningless to you?" Do-hyun tightened his grip. "What is our relationship? Seo Eunhoo, a scumbag like me gets excited seeing you in uniform, while you just laugh and joke. Is that a relationship?" Looking intently at Eunhoo's feet, Do-hyun continued. "Eunhoo, just looking at your feet makes me want to do it. I'm that kind of person, can't think of anything other than rubbing those legs to satisfy my own desires." Do-hyun was terrifying at this moment. Eunhoo tremblingly curled up on the sofa. Do-hyun stared. "Even though you knew I only thought about those things, you ignored it and insisted on being best friends. Seo Eunhoo, this time you draw the line yourself. Just tell me if you don't like it, I won't cross it." Eunhoo could only remain silent, unable to utter another word. Do-hyun suddenly saw himself traveling with his parents. However, the strange thing was that when his parents were alive, the family had never traveled like this. Also, his mother always sat in the passenger seat, and the person sitting next to him was always Seo Eunhoo. Seeing the car about to enter the tunnel, Do-hyun panicked and screamed, "No, don't." However, no sound came out. He was confused, thinking this was just a dream, because when his parents had an accident, he wasn't with them. But for some reason now, he had to go through that pain again. He kept reassuring himself that this was just a dream, but his legs kept running to the emergency room. When the door of the room opened, a bloody hand reached out from the white cloth. On that person's hand was the bracelet he gave to Seo Eunhoo. Suddenly, someone whispered, "Hey, isn't that Seo Eunhoo?" Do-hyun woke up from the terrifying dream. 2 girls continued to look down at the yard and gossip. "It seems like he's bleeding. Did he have an accident on the way here?" Do-hyun ran quickly to the window, desperately looked down at the yard but saw no one, then angrily asked where Eunhoo was. Hearing a girl say she might have gone to the infirmary, he ran quickly there, but he felt that the infirmary was farther than usual today. He was helpless and worried, and tears welled up in his eyes. This morning, Eunhoo went to school alone. The sky was gloomy and about to rain, but because he had Cha Do-hyun before, he didn't care about the weather. Every morning when going to school, Do-hyun would remind him if it was about to rain and tell him to remember to bring an umbrella. He had never thought about what it would be like to live alone without Cha Do-hyun. He was so distracted that he didn't notice a bicycle coming. When he realized it, the bicycle had hit him, causing him to fall to the ground. His hands, feet, and face were all scratched. Do-hyun, panting heavily, suddenly opened the door of the infirmary. Eunhoo and the school nurse were surprised and looked at the door together. The school nurse asked, "What's wrong?" Hearing that Seo Eunhoo was injured, "You ran here immediately? Your friend collided with a bicycle, so everywhere is scratched and swollen." Even though it hurt, Eunhoo still tried to explain, "What do you mean everywhere hurts?" Hyun hadn't said anything since then, just heartbroken and crying. Eun-hoo saw everything, saw Hyun worrying about him to the point of crying. But he didn't step through the door of the infirmary, he just stood there looking and then turned his back and left. Eun-hoo had never seen Hyun give up on something, and he never wanted to see his back walking away. If he could make those legs stop, it seemed he could do anything. Hyun left school before lunchtime and even turned off his phone, so Eun-hoo called continuously but couldn't get through. Ji-hein invited him to go home together, but Eun-hoo said she would go home later. Looking outside, it was raining. Eun-hoo was worried about Hyun. She didn't know where he would go in this weather. She called him all day, but he didn't answer. Eun-hoo ran home in the rain. However, the rain was getting heavier. Her clothes were soaked. She was in pain from the wound. She looked around and randomly entered a shop to avoid the rain. Eun-hoo took off her outer uniform jacket. Then she sat with her knees pulled up outside the stairs and continued to call Hyun. She silently prayed that he would answer. And indeed, Hyun did answer. Eun-hoo was so relieved that she cried. She shakily said, "Hey, Hyun, come here. I'm so cold I'm about to die. Hurry up and come here." Hyun was silent for a while and then replied, "Seo Eun-hoo, as soon as I get there, I will kiss you. If you avoid me this time, I will definitely not hold on to you anymore. Even so, do you still want me to come?" Without much time to think, Hyun gave Eun-hoo two choices. Eun-hoo cursed, "You jerk, you really are." "Eun-hoo, as long as you know that, I will be right there," Hyun calmly replied. Hyun and Eun-hoo had spent many summers together. The summer when they were 2 years old, they both lay exhausted on the warm sand after playing in the water. The summer when they were 3 years old, they leaned on each other and sat until morning. And the summer when they were 9 years old, they exchanged kisses on the beach that night. Now sitting here, Eun-hoo was eagerly waiting for Hyun to come quickly. A while later, Hyun arrived in front of Eun-hoo. He smiled and said, "Seo Eun-hoo, do you still need more time to think? I think I already know your feelings." During the waiting time, Eun-hoo had sorted out her own feelings. She looked up at Hyun, then stood up and replied, "No need, Hyun. I like you," Eun-hoo slowly said. It seemed that Hyun had anticipated the answer. He smiled contentedly. "I don't care about anything," Eun-hoo said and then suddenly hugged and kissed Hyun. He didn't anticipate this action of hers. Hyun was surprised and stood still for a moment. Then he held Eun-hoo's face and kissed her back. Eun-hoo understood that the future would be different from the past. It was strange, difficult, and scary. But being with Hyun, everything would be fine. She didn't care whether Hyun's title was a friend or a lover. As long as it was Hyun. As soon as they got back to Hyun's house, Hyun hurriedly hugged and kissed Eun-hoo. The passionate kiss made Eun-hoo feel breathless. He pushed Hyun away, struggling to say, "Hyun, wait." Hyun couldn't restrain himself, embracing Eun-hoo tightly and continuing to kiss him. Eun-hoo stuttered, "It's hard to breathe, can't breathe." Only then did Hyun stop, smiling indulgently. "I know, I'll kiss slower." They embraced each other again, slowly and attentively feeling each other's breath and heartbeat. After showering, Eun-hoo sat drying his hair in Hyun's room. He had been to this room before, but today it felt strange. Hyun's shirt even had a distinctive scent. Feeling embarrassed, he decided to leave the living room, just as Hyun stepped out of the bathroom, startling him. "Why would this lunatic strip outside? Why are you acting like that suddenly?" Eun-hoo suddenly paid attention to this matter. Eun-hoo felt ashamed and didn't know how to respond. Then he pretended to turn around to find the TV remote. Hyun said, "Seo Eun-hoo, I like you. From now on, we're not just friends, we're dating. Nothing will change, we'll still eat together, sleep together, laugh together, and share our troubles. However, whether it's winter or summer, you must be by my side, you can't avoid me anymore. And one more thing, don't meet anyone else, not even think about it, if you don't want to see my furious side." Eun-hoo sat silently, unsure how to respond, then Hyun continued, "I'm not asking for an answer, you don't have the right to choose. We've been friends for 19 years, so let's try dating for 19 years. If by then you feel this affection isn't right, then you can tell me, but not now." Eun-hoo softly replied, "By then, we'll be like uncles." Hyun held his hand, "Anyway, you're always beautiful in my eyes, so don't worry." Eun-hoo sighed and smiled, "The only thing that's changed is the feeling. Before, I had many reasons not to pursue this relationship, but now they've become reasons why I can only be with you." During lunch break, Eun-hoo eagerly brought 2 cans of soft drinks to Hyun's class. Hearing that Hyun had been tired since morning, Eun-hoo worriedly checked his temperature. "Hyun, if you're tired, go home, why lie down here?" Do-hyun struggled to open his eyes. I was planning to wait to see your face for a moment and then leave, but I accidentally fell asleep. Do-hyun grabbed Eun-hoo's hand and pressed it against his face, then rested his face in that hand like a puppy. Eun-hoo indulged him and let it be. Suddenly, Do-hyun called. "Seo Eun-hoo, come to my house after school." Do-hyun returned home first, while Eun-hoo, after school, bought medicine and went to his house. Seeing Do-hyun lying in bed, Eun-hoo approached to wake him up to take the medicine. Do-hyun, still groggy, murmured, "You'll catch my cold, hurry home." This person is really hard to understand. Just now, he told Eun-hoo to come over. Eun-hoo felt Do-hyun's forehead, then went to get the medicine, but Do-hyun held his hand and pulled the blanket, inviting Eun-hoo to lie down together. Now he wants to stay, earlier he wanted to leave, and now he wants to lie down together. He must be sick, that's why he's acting childish. Eun-hoo climbed onto the bed with Do-hyun. Feeling his fever, Eun-hoo worriedly suggested going to the hospital, but Do-hyun said it's just lack of sleep, insisting he'll be fine after resting until tomorrow. Do-hyun gently kissed Eun-hoo's forehead, then wanted to kiss his lips but refrained, promising to do everything he couldn't do now when he's fully recovered. Seeing Do-hyun fall asleep again, Eun-hoo decided to rest a bit too, afraid that any movement might wake him up. Several days later, while Eun-hoo was taking a break, Do-hyun arrived. Holding Eun-hoo's hand, he fed him a piece of delicious ice cream, then said he had finished his term as student council president and now had a lot of free time, inviting Eun-hoo to watch a movie after school. Do-hyun hinted further, saying he's over his cold now. "Good for you," Eun-hoo replied. Then he remembered what Do-hyun said before about doing everything once he's better, though he couldn't recall exactly. However, Do-hyun quickly led Eun-hoo to the restroom. After locking the door, he asked hesitantly if he could kiss him. Eun-hoo didn't respond verbally, just closed his eyes. Their lips met, they embraced for a long while, surrounded only by the sound of their erratic breathing. Eun-hoo felt something strange as Do-hyun continuously pressed against him, asking why he kept doing that. Realizing Eun-hoo's reaction, Do-hyun smirked and said, "Eun-hoo, I'll help you." Eun-hoo struggled to escape. "You lunatic, this is school." Do-hyun held Eun-hoo tighter, asking teasingly if he was afraid of being eaten. After teasing, Do-hyun pretended to scare Eun-hoo, who was unwilling to let go. Then Do-hyun suggested if Eun-hoo was okay with it, he should touch him. Unable to speak to this pervert, Eun-hoo immediately ran out of the bathroom. His heart was pounding, his face was blushing, and he looked around nervously for fear of being discovered. Seeing his flushed face, Ji-hyun worriedly asked if he was in pain or had a fever. Eun-hoo pretended to fan himself, saying it was because of the hot weather today. Just then, Do-hyun texted him to remind him to go to the movies together after school. Eun-hoo hesitated for fear that he would play tricks in the dark cinema, but in the end, he still came to wait for Do-hyun. Eun-hoo stood and watched Do-hyun play basketball with everyone. Seeing him, Do-hyun quickly said goodbye to his friends. Do-hyun intended to carry Eun-hoo's backpack, but Eun-hoo wanted to carry it himself. He wondered if Do-hyun didn't feel hot playing sports in such weather. Implicitly. At the cinema, Eun-hoo ordered a large popcorn and drink combo. Do-hyun chose a movie with the closest time slot. In the cinema, there was no one but the two of them. Eun-hoo said that they might have chosen a boring movie. Do-hyun naturally leaned in close and whispered that he heard this was a highly artistic film. Eun-hoo was startled and changed the subject, saying that the movie had started and they should watch it. Eun-hoo watched the movie intently, while Do-hyun sat watching Eun-hoo. Then he suddenly grabbed his hand and started to stroke and caress his wrist. Eun-hoo had noticed before that Do-hyun seemed to be obsessed with his hands and wrists. After the movie, Do-hyun insisted on taking Eun-hoo home. When they arrived at the door, he pleaded to go inside for a while. Sans signe danger, Eun-hoo refused. But Do-hyun immediately agreed, saying he would just watch Eun-hoo go inside. But as soon as the door opened, Eun-hoo's mother happily invited Do-hyun to stay for dinner. So, Do-hyun followed Eun-hoo into the house. Eun-hoo's mother said she had just started cooking, so they had to wait a bit. Do-hyun seized the opportunity to say he would do homework with Eun-hoo in the room. Seeing Eun-hoo still hesitating, Do-hyun cunningly said, "What's wrong, aren't you going in?" Then he immediately pulled Eun-hoo's hand and dragged him into the room. Once inside, Do-hyun picked up Eun-hoo and put him on the table, then freely kissed his lips. Eun-hoo quickly cooperated, and the table shook violently, causing the box containing the bracelet on top to fall. Eun-hoo took the ring out and asked Do-hyun to put it on for him. Do-hyun thought Eun-hoo didn't like it, so he was planning to buy a different style. However, Eun-hoo still wanted to wear it because they had both become lovers. As Do-hyun put the ring on Eun-hoo, he glanced at it for a moment, then suddenly lifted Eun-hoo up and laid him down on the bed. Do-hyun kissed Eun-hoo's hand, then continued to exchange passionate kisses. Next, Do-hyun attacked Eunhoo's pale, slender neck, a tingling sensation invading Eunhoo's body. Now the room was filled with heavy breathing and the muffled sounds of both. Do-hyun kept nibbling on the neck, causing Eunhoo to involuntarily make embarrassing sounds. He quickly covered his mouth and pushed Do-hyun away. "No, you shouldn't, please leave now." Despite Do-hyun's pleading that he wouldn't touch him anymore, Eunhoo hurriedly pushed Do-hyun out the door, even before he could pick up his bag. Eunhoo called out, "Mom, Do-hyun has urgent matters to attend to, so he has to leave right away." His mom scolded him, thinking the two were arguing again, while he helplessly pondered how to deal with that giant nuisance. Eunhoo lay on the bed leisurely playing a game, wondering why Do-hyun hadn't contacted him yet when Do-hyun called. Eunhoo immediately picked up the phone, but only received silence from the other end. "Is this guy sulking?" "Weskid." A few seconds later, Do-hyun replied, "Seo Eunhoo, what are you doing?" "I'm just playing a game," Eunhoo answered. Do-hyun continued asking, "Where?" "On the bed," Eunhoo replied. Then he heard only a long sigh from the other end. Eunhoo asked in confusion, "Are you mad just because I asked you to come home earlier?" "Mad about what?" "No," Do-hyun quickly replied, with a sniffle. Eunhoo quickly asked, "Hey, Cha Do-hyun, where are you hurt? Call me again, call my name one more time." Do-hyun replied with difficulty. Eunhoo angrily shouted, "What kind of medicine did you take by mistake, Cha Do-hyun? Or are you hearing ominous sounds?" J'en peux de une surprise. It was then that she realized the perverse thing that Do-hyun was doing. Her face turned red with embarrassment. Do-hyun stopped pleadingly calling her name. Now he invited Eunhoo to his house. "Eunhoo, do you want to come to my house now? Come here." Eunhoo felt more panicked than in the afternoon. The sound and breath of Do-hyun echoed in her ears. She thought it only happened in those movies, but she didn't expect that she and Do-hyun would do this now. Because she was late for physical education class, Eunhoo was assigned by the teacher to check the sports equipment. It was also because every time she borrowed sports equipment from Do-hyun, he demanded a fee, so it took so much time. Eunhoo threw the inventory book in frustration and lay down on the mat. After tossing and turning for a while, she fell asleep without realizing it. At lunchtime, Do-hyun came to the equipment room and saw that Eunhoo was still sleeping. He gently woke her up. Eunhoo was startled because she had just closed her eyes for a moment and it was already this late. Do-hyun stroked Eunhoo's head, then mischievously said, "Let's have lunch later, let's finish the unfinished business from earlier. No one will come here." Do-hyun's troquet d'un sleeps. Today Eunhoo went to school again, but when she went down to the apartment lobby, Eunhoo was surprised to see Do-hyun waiting there. "Why are you still here at this time?" "Weskid." Do-hyun took a can of cool drink from his pocket and gave it to Eunhoo, and conveniently fondled her wrist wearing the bracelet. "Let's go," Do-hyun teased, poking Eunhoo's cheek. "You've just finished your term as student council president and you're already late?" Eunhoo said. Do-hyun calmly replied, "I don't know, I wanted to go to school with someone." He was so engrossed in looking at Do-hyun that when he turned around, Eunhoo was startled and asked, "What? What's wrong?" "Nothing. Just checking if you're walking carefully." Do-hyun answered with a smile. Eunhoo gasped, thinking he had been caught staring at him. Seeing the rose fence by the road, Eunhoo was extremely surprised by its huge size. Do-hyun, on the other hand, stared at Eunhoo's expression and exclaimed, "Yeah, it's cute." Knowing that Do-hyun was teasing him, Eunhoo turned his face away in embarrassment. Do-hyun asked, "Shall I pick a flower for you, Eunhoo?" However, Eunhoo said he could pick it himself. When Eunhoo reached out to pick it, Do-hyun immediately held his hand back, fearing that Eunhoo would get hurt by the thorns. Do-hyun comforted him, saying that he would buy other roses for Eunhoo next time. But Eunhoo felt it was unnecessary. He just wanted to pick it on a whim. Because it was hot, Eunhoo wanted to pull his hand back, but Do-hyun held it tightly and didn't let go. He then deliberately moved closer to Eunhoo and teased that he wouldn't move away. Eunhoo was annoyed but couldn't do anything. The two of them became closer. At the school library, Do-hyun studied diligently, while Eunhoo sat and played next to him. Do-hyun asked what Eunhoo was planning to do over the weekend, and invited Eunhoo to his house to study. Eunhoo quickly refused because he couldn't trust this giant jerk. Do-hyun would do anything Eunhoo wanted, but he absolutely refused to promise not to touch Eunhoo. Suddenly remembering Do-hyun's recent intimate actions, Eunhoo slapped himself to sober up. Do-hyun sat beside, smiling affectionately, then stuck a note with his name written on it onto his hand. "What's that for? Are you a child?" Eunhoo felt like he was marking territory, but it was quite adorable nonetheless. That evening, while Do-hyun was studying, the doorbell rang. He went to open the door and was surprised to see Eunhoo carrying a uniform in one hand, a bag of ice cream in the other, and a backpack on his shoulder. Because the air conditioner at his place was broken, he had to spend the night at Do-hyun's house. Eun-hoo lowered the temperature in Do-hyun's room, then sat down on the sofa to eat ice cream. Suddenly, Do-hyun approached and rested his head on Eun-hoo's thigh, teasingly complaining about feeling cold because Eun-hoo had lowered the temperature. Despite protesting, Eun-hoo still indulged Do-hyun by letting him rest his head on his thigh. After a while, Do-hyun resumed studying while Eun-hoo happily read a book and snacked. He tapped Do-hyun's back, asking for another book from the table. Suddenly, Do-hyun grabbed Eun-hoo's hand and mischievously said, "See-o Eun-hoo, if you keep touching me like this, I won't stay still." Eun-hoo, surprised and unable to react, watched as Do-hyun smirked and moved closer. Only then did Eun-hoo startle and push Do-hyun away, asking why he was here and feeling so hot. Do-hyun pushed Eun-hoo onto the sofa, teasingly asking if he broke the air conditioner just to come over. Eun-hoo immediately explained, insisting that it was really broken and suggested calling his mom to confirm. Do-hyun continued to laugh and playfully said that it wasn't the right time to call his aunt. After saying that, he leaned in to lightly kiss his lover's lips, making Eun-hoo's heart race and body tremble. Do-hyun then kissed Eun-hoo deeply, gently asking for permission to remove the last barrier. Eun-hoo decided to let go of all reservations and allowed Do-hyun to do as he pleased. However, Eun-hoo made it clear that Do-hyun couldn't go beyond certain limits, despite his desires. Eun-hoo couldn't understand why he naturally ended up in this position underneath Do-hyun. Do-hyun increased the pace until that desire was relieved. Finally, the summer vacation had begun, and Do-hyun texted to meet up with Eun-hoo. Ji-hyun intended to invite Eun-hoo along, but he said he would come later. "Have a great summer vacation," Ji-hyun said. Eun-hoo cheerfully replied, "Hey, Won Ji-hyun, I'll visit the little tiger one of these days." "Sure, let's keep in touch." After Ji-hyun left, Eun-hoo lay down on the table waiting for Do-hyun. A while later, Do-hyun arrived with a bunch of yellow roses in his hand. Eun-hoo asked in surprise, "What's this?" "Roses," Do-hyun gently replied, "you said they were beautiful the other day." "I just said they were too big," Eun-hoo responded, her face and hands blushing. Do-hyun continued, "The meaning of yellow roses is eternal friendship and love. That's the meaning of the same kind of flower, so I guess they're similar." Eun-hoo understood Do-hyun's implication that friendship and love are similar. So he thinks he can't lose our friendship and has to accept his feelings? Eun-hoo thought to herself before saying, "Hey, Cha Do-hyun, do you also hold hands and kiss your friends?" "I don't do that, you crazy guy. Although I haven't seen anyone around you who has a friend like that, if there is, you should know how to handle it yourself." Eun-hoo shouted in anger, then softened her voice and said, "Hey, how can friendship and love be the same? Are you stupid?" Eun-hoo did not accept Do-hyun's feelings because of the thought that friendship and love are the same. Although she couldn't explain it herself, she didn't know when she started liking Do-hyun. Eun-hoo took the initiative to pull her lover's clothes and kissed him. Although a bit surprised, Do-hyun quickly responded. The hottest time of the year, although their youth was the hot summer days. But the end of summer does not mean that the green will disappear, just like the way they always stay together through spring, summer, autumn, and winter.